I'm proud to announce that the podcast is now officially sponsored by the fine people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, this is some of the best chili you can get here in the state of New Mexico, and they are online as well as in stores. They can be found at Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, John Brooks, and Lowe's Corner Market. They have 3 amazing flavors that you see here, and they also have frozen green chili that you can get online. Go on over to the website, chopchilico.com, and get yourself some amazing chili today. Podcast is now officially sponsored by the amazing people over at High Desert Relief, a premier herbal destination right here in the state of New Mexico. They have extremely well-trained and knowledgeable staff that are more than happy to help you find what you're looking for or try something that you maybe have never thought of. They have 2 locations here in Albuquerque, 1 in Santa Fe. All 3 will be listed right here and in the description of this episode. All 3 offering legendary products at absolutely legendary prices, including this awesome merch that they were so kind enough to gift me here. All of this can be found at all 3 of their locations. Again, big thank you to the guys over at HDR for supporting. Now back to the episode. I'm proud to announce that the pod... All right, are we up? Yep. Are we live? We're live.
We live.
The fuck is up, guys?
What's up, man?
Cheers. Cheers, gentlemen.
He got us drinking brown. We don't never drink brown.
Awesome seeing you guys.
And you know it has no label on it, so you know it's
some hooch shit straight out of a barrel somewhere.
Ooh, yeah.
Johnny Walker Black.
Oh yeah. You can tell we don't drink.
It must be acquired taste.
Yeah, you can tell we don't. Boy. Yep.
That's what it is.
All right. You talking to your microphone quick, Sixx?
Check 1, 2.
There we go.
There we go.
That's
Yep.
up. There he's up. All right. I'll turn you up a little bit more. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on 200 episodes.
Oh,
Man, it's crazy, huh?
Big congrats on that.
Time, it kind of flew, but it didn't.
I know. Remember when we were probably like 10, 12 in and people were like, make it to 50.
Yeah, that was a goal.
Yeah.
It really was. Because it was hard. I guess it wasn't hard in the beginning because the Rona, we didn't have shit to do, but it was...
Once we came out of it.
Yeah, I guess once we got out of it.
Because we were doing, 2 a week?
Sometimes 3.
We would do 2, 3 a week when we first started.
Yeah.
We didn't have shit else to do.
We were just stuck at home. We was like, might as well put the mic on.
So, and you guys got Larry. Shout out to Larry. He was in the. Congrats to him as well. You guys, as producer. Big shout out to Larry.
None of that would happen without Larry.
Oh yeah, definitely. We started the first 2 or 3 episodes that were horrible.
They look like shit. They still up too.
Bro, you could pull them up and you'd be like, wow. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. It was rough.
Larry came in, put his magical touch on it. Then he just became a part of the show. Larry didn't want to talk at first, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, nah, you got to have a mic. But we won't put a camera on you. But
it progressed.
Yeah. So now
it progressed to what Larry is now.
Larry. The legend of Larry.
The legend of Larry.
And I told you, next time if you have us back, we want Larry. Give him a mic. Just don't have him on camera.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you don't want to see no one. When we had our 200th episode party, a lot of people saw him for the first time.
So we were...
And they were like, oh, shit, that's Larry?
He looks exactly like... No, I was playing.
No, that's what they say. We imagine him to look just like him.
Well, because we were talking before we were shooting, and about one of my favorite parts of that 200 episode was you guys were transitioning out. I forget what subject. And Larry goes, wait. I've got a question for everybody. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we just bombing these people now? And the whole room just comes to a screeching halt.
You should have saw the faces. Everybody was like, that's Larry, though.
How many people did you guys have there for that 200?
We invited... It was a special invitation, so
What did we invite, 60?
I think we were at 75.
75?
Was like special invitation, and some people were hurt. We didn't get invited, and we're like, bro, it's the people that really supported us, like from day one.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and a lot of people, a lot more supported us, but we're talking about our day ones that were there, that comment, they interact with us, or they always support us at one of our events. Like, always there. Yeah. So it was a great little party. I mean, it was amazing doing it live too.
And so, especially like looking back, because it's 4 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking back on that. when did you see that you started to have like a solid fan base? And then how did you? Was it a conscious plan of like, okay, we have these people, here's how we keep them entertained, or was it just like, hey, they like us for us?
It wasn't even about the viewers, bro. When we started,
it wasn't about nobody but us.
It was because we had sat down and Rob was like, bro, if we do this, we got to be raw, we got to be honest, and put ourselves on blast. Because how are we going to talk about other people or say stuff that if we're not honest about our own lives? And we put very personal stuff about us out there, you know what I mean? From relationships to family life to whatever. And we've had a lot of crazy shit that's happened in the last 4 years between this, but we've never not hid or never not told the truth about it.
Well, to answer your question, so it started out, me and Sixx. I told you I didn't want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it. Because we've told this story a lot, but the thing is, different audience. Sixx was like, we would just sit at his house during the lockdown. And he was like, and it surprised me that Sixx wanted to do a podcast. What people don't know about Sixx is not an extroverted person. He likes to host parties and stuff, but he's not
like behind the scenes,
orchestrating. Exactly.
For people to see me.
Yeah, that's him. And so that's when I had the not all. You don't want to be Puff Daddy now, bro.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't want him looking at us crazy, bro. Like, yeah, y'all are pretty tight, bro. Like, yeah, you Puff Daddy. We get it now.
What do you guys be doing?
No, but so when Sixx said that, I was like, look, because I had been on podcasts and stuff. I said, we're gonna do it raw. It's gonna be unfiltered. I don't care as long as we just be entertaining while we do it. And to answer your question, we didn't do it because we thought people would watch. We did it for us. Yeah. And then what I feel is when I noticed that people were paying attention was after the lockdown. Because remember, we said, man, people ain't going to watch this shit anymore, because they were forced to watch it.
Because they're going to go out.
Yeah, we thought we were done. We thought we were done, and then we were like, wait a minute, this shit is still cracking. Like, it's still going. So
I think one reason is the rawness of the show. We have no filter whatsoever. and people are like, I can't believe you said that shit. Like I've lost girls that I've dated because I cannot watch the show because what you fucking say and talk about. And I'm like, well, like it is what it is. We're not going to sugarcoat it.
No, we can't. You can't be.
It's raw. I think we say what people think and want to say.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So there's a lot of people who will say, we've been told nobody watches. That's a fucking lie. Oh, yeah. It's more people to watch than we actually know because we're out in public
watching.
We can get to recent repercussions here in a little bit.
Go ahead.
Well, we can get to that in a bit because that's in the back of my head. That's loaded. It's in the chamber, along with 3 to 5 other things. Just in the chamber right now.
Yeah.
But you're right. People watch the show. People like it. It's
some people don't like it, but they can't stop watching because they're like, "What the fuck are they going to talk about?"
What's that quote from Straight Outta Compton, the movie where it's that scene where they're watching them all like stomping and burning the CDs. I think it was Dre,
It was Dre.
Where he was like, "They bought the motherfucker.
They got it. Who cares?"
Yeah.
Well, and off of what Rob was saying, because we'll be out and people will bring up shit that we had on the show that you would not know if you watched. And we're like,
the only way you know it is watching the shit. Yeah.
How long did it take to get? Because obviously both of you guys are in the entertainment space, like knuckle deep in the entertainment space. But how, like, for the podcast itself, did it take you some time to get used to that? Like, oh, we have an audience, people are actually watching us. So it's like, oh, this is another thing that we happen to be good at.
I think, like, for me, minus reading the comments and getting through it, to me, it's just us bullshitting.
That's what it feels like.
I mean, it's what we do by ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Like,
we just got a camera and a mic in front of us.
We're entertaining people the way we are with each other and talking and bullshitting and just, like we went on a road trip. 10-hour trip today.
Yeah.
Bullshitted.
God bless that drive.
Same shit.
Yeah, just bullshitted the whole time like it was nothing. So, like, all we did, like you said, put a mic in front of us and then people tune in to hear our bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I started this. Me and Joey, he was the first episode, or the first guest. Well, we've been friends for over a fucking decade, but like first guest that I had, and that was the whole plan over here too. It's like, hey, let's just me and my friends bullshit on a Friday night, talk a bunch of nonsense, throw a mic in the middle, and see what happens.
See, you had a different thing though, because I was one of your early guests, and you were still in the military.
Yep.
So you really couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I knew that, as much as I've said this before, but as much as I love my buddies,
Yeah.
I couldn't I don't think me and Joey could sit down every week like you guys do and do a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could bullshit, but I don't think it's gonna. And I love like doing the long form content and really like getting like into details of stuff and shit like that. But I don't think we could do 3 hours every week.
Man, we could do.
Yeah.
We could do more if we had time.
Yeah.
If you could see our inbox.
Yeah.
And there's shit we don't even touch. We forget about it. And then by the time we come back, it's old. You don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. That's just.
Or it's stuff we want to talk about and we can't talk about because something just happened.
I feel like it's a conversational muscle that you have in your brain.
Oh, it is.
And it's just, maybe it's either one, I don't know if it's one I just don't have or one I haven't like really flexed or grown yet. But I knew from the beginning, I was like, I want to have guests. I want to talk to a new person every week. Recurring guests for sure. I mean, back then I didn't think I was going to have recurring guests. I thought it was just like a one-off, like, oh, that was fucking dumb. They're doing that again. But I knew that if I was going to keep doing this, it was going to be a guest every week. And what I like about your guys' show is that it's consistently you guys and Larry.
Yeah.
And then every so often there's a guest.
Well, see, we had to chill out on the guests, right?
Yeah, because the guests were boring.
Man, they were.
They were like interrupt because every guest would be like, "Yeah, we're ready to talk and be raw and just let it all out."
But that's not what we were looking for. We were just saying, "Hey, we're gonna talk about everything. Just we want your opinion. Be you.
Just be yourself."
But they wouldn't.
Because I feel like if people set out to be, I don't know, to be audacious, right? Just to be out of pocket, they come off as corny.
And that's what a lot of
is like fake or just
or
weird.
a lot of people when they see the cameras in front of them, they really freak out.
That's it. They're done.
And they're like, people are watching, and then they're worried, and then you're seeing. So like, I think they clam up a lot.
Or they'll come on, have a little drink, have a little smoke, and they're done.
Yeah.
Larry hits them with the camera, and they're over there like.
Yeah. Or they get too drunk.
Windows 98 logged off.
Or they get too drunk, and it's just outrageous.
Yeah,
it's like,
and it's just sloppy, and it's like.
That's how Springer got the last time, Joey. Yeah, we had our buddy Springer. We was the four of us. We all got pretty drunk, but he ended up puking like on camera. And, like, it was fucking.
Wait,
hilarious.
it wasn't on my seat, was it? Like it ain't on this. I got my mouth all close to the shit.
No, the poor guy. He was producing. So he was a guest. He's one of the guests. Springer was producing.
Yeah.
And so he's like making the motion to give him a trash can. Oh. We give him a trash can and he's puking. He takes that camera by the handle and swivels it around and zooms in on him.
Yeah. Get the content.
Hey, at least he had the. That's funny.
COE, content over everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, so I love the format of you guys' show, and it's not surprising that it's gotten the audience that it has. And again, I think a really big aspect of that, if not the most important one, is because you guys aren't afraid to talk about how you actually feel, how you actually think about things, and how you are on camera. It's how you are off camera.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't play a character.
No.
That's the big part of what people think, and I think that's why they interact with us, because they see us out and they're like, man, you got, and sometimes we even crazier out. You know what I mean? Like they see us in a raw form.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't get to see us like that though, because they see us like a lot of times when you see us, we're doing a show or business side, so they don't really get to see us let loose.
Right.
So it's like the best of both worlds.
Right. No, and it works extremely well. Was there a point where you're like, okay, this is something we're going to do long term? Like, was there ever an idea that we're going to do this, see if we can make it out of the pandemic, and like this is what we're going to do now? Because again, we're locked up, not a lot to do. Or was it always like we're just going to do this so the fucking wheels fall off?
Well, I'll answer mine and I'll let Sixx go. To be honest, that's when we lean on each other. There was a period Sixx was out for a long period of time. Like, not to get like too serious, he lost his brother. There was a lot of things going on, and he wasn't there.
And I didn't even know if I was gonna like really mentally be able to come back.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean. It was
because his brother used to come sit in. He was our first live audience member. Really,
part of the show.
And so we had talks. Me and Larry was like, man, I don't know, but we got through it. And then there's times, I'm busy with other shit or tired or burnt out, or that's why we moved it to Monday, because Sixx has a lot of business going on Tuesday. Okay. So we moved it to Monday. And
Mondays
then
are good days because you're usually here all the time.
Yeah.
Anything and it's beginning of the week. It doesn't feel like it cuts into your week because the weeks are fast enough as it is. So,
but the person who really the glue is really Larry. Larry's the glue. Hey, we doing a pod? We missed the day. Hey, we're gonna do one.
He's on you guys about
we
it.
Missed two.
We missed two. Nah, bro. So, cause Larry's the Matrix, bro. I feel like if we were to just cut his head open, it would be just green fucking lines just moving. Like Larry doesn't go to sleep. Larry is plugged into every.
He's constantly doing something.
Everything. And
I've talked to that dude at 12 o'clock in the morning about tech issues.
He's a wealth of fucking information.
Yeah.
So Larry's the one who, all three of us got our own thing going, but Larry's the one who's like, hey, remember this though. But I love it because it's my outlet.
Yeah.
Of all the shit that I do, this is the one where I can just be myself. I don't have to be something else.
Because obviously I've seen you do stand up a ton. You're yourself on stage, but you're like this. You're obviously you're performing. You're an exaggerated version, not embellished, but it's performative.
Yeah,
which is exactly what it should be.
Yep.
And
you got to turn it up.
Exactly. You have to
crank
be
it up.
that.
Yeah.
And doing that consistently on a podcast, again, in my opinion, I feel like it just comes off as a bit corny. You know what I mean? It comes off.
Can't do it.
Comes off as corny. It's not authentic. People tune out. It's like, oh, it's another guy just acting like an idiot because he's in front of a camera.
I fucking hate doing the podcast without Sixx.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sixx is on the podcast. Sixx is the funniest motherfucker in the world to me. I look back on shit and the shit that he says, the way he says it, and don't have no filter. I barely laugh, and I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's funny, bro.
The fact you've got merch that says "these bitches" on it,
with the two thumbs,
and for me, it's just I've always been witty, like on the fly. Like I'm not gonna be one to write jokes or be a fun, but I'm just on the fly, could be witty and come and just think fast of bullshit. Really,
Sixx
in the business I'm in, that's what it's about. It's really on the fly, and like you said, it's bullshitting. Like you could sit here and talk for 2 hours and just bullshit someone.
Well, I feel like I forget who had the joke about it, but I think it was Christopher Titus, where he's talking about when guys meet each other for the first time. And you kind of shit on each other a little bit. Yeah. It's, hey, nice it's like nice shirt, like nice shoes, like being sarcastic, and they get defensive about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
We know
we can't hang, but it's like hey, what's up with the shoes? I don't know what's up with the shirt, and it's like, okay, now we have some kind of rapport here.
Exactly.
And were you always like that? Even as a kid, do you feel like you grew up just having that? Like, I feel like that's something people are just born with.
Yes. So like, I used to get my ass beat for being witty and sharp.
You know what they call that? Badass kid. They don't call it a witty. Oh, he's so witty. He's a badass kid, bro.
But not really bad. Just I was slick with.
Yeah.
With whatever my dad would.
You ran your mouth.
And my dad would say something, and I'd come back, and I'd be like, "Pow!" But it never stopped. Like it was always that way, and it's always been that way. I was always through elementary, the little wittiness, that all the way through, and it's just my personality. Like it takes a lot for me to be in a bad mood. I can have rough days. Yeah. I can handle adversity, stress. I can handle shit. So like to me, life is never that serious. That unless it's some traumatic that you have to be pissed all the time or grouchy. So I try to stay. I just try to stay real to myself. Like this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is who I am. How you meet me here is how you're gonna have me over here. Yeah. And that could be a span of 1 day. 10 days, 10 years.
That's why I love him being a comedy critic. Love that shit, bro. And I know, and it keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Because I never want to look at him and he'd be like, bruh.
Because he'll tell you.
Fuck no.
Yeah. I have no filter. Like,
if
I don't feel, and people ask, why don't you book me? We're like, well, do you want to know or just want to know that I don't book you? Like, What do you want to know or see?
Well, because here's my thought on that, and this is a good segue, I guess. Well, before I get to that, just one last question I have for you about podcasting specifically. When the idea came up to do the BS show, were you immediately attracted to it, or was it something you kind of had to get your toes wet in and see what it felt like?
Oh no! So
it was his idea.
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
he started it. That was him.
So for me, it was just like, of course, it was the Rona time, and we had this, but like. I have a lot of shit to say, and you know what I mean? And we did, and it was just like, I think it was just some built up stuff, and we're like, man, let's just go have fun with it.
Yeah.
So at that point, and back to the question a while ago, is like, did we think it would be long term or how long? At first, I just thought maybe after the Rona, like you said, it'd be overdone with, and then we're worried about numbers. It probably was about after we did the 100th episode. I was like, wow, like we actually have something, something, and people said keep on going, and then as we got to 150, and then it started being like, okay, we want to hit milestone numbers and see, and then we look back, we're like, fuck, we've been doing it for 4 years, like.
And when you
it's crazy. Like,
when you get people upset that you didn't do a show.
Yeah.
How many times does your phone go to, you missed a show? Like,
oh, you guys on arm tonight? You're not, you know.
Yeah, there's been a couple of Tuesdays in the past where I was a little confused.
Yeah, you've hit me. You've hit me. Like, yo, y'all not doing a...
Everybody good? First thing we get is, everybody all right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys breathing?
Yeah,
we breathing.
So, yeah, I mean, and that's good. Because, I mean, again, until you guys switched to Mondays, my week started out with Kill Tony Mondays and the BS Show Tuesdays. Yeah. That was just the routine. That's how it was. No, and what I like about this might be like the common denominator, especially when we're talking about comedy during this conversation, is a strong aspect of your guys' show is the fact that you're an entertainer and then you're a producer. So you get both sides of what's going on, whether it's how did a show run in general, how do you pull a show together, what makes for a good one, makes for a bad one before it even starts, and then like you were just saying, when you give the critique of what's going on.
Also, I think you're missing the third part, which we're all three of these consumers of comedy.
Yes. Oh, that's
the last one. Yep. I think all three of those fitting together. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then when you start criticizing local comedy, a scene both of you guys are deeply embedded in, you can give legitimate criticism. Because, I mean, and when people are fucking sensitive to it and they're soft to it, whatever. Like, whatever.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, let them, right? Let them. But I can...
I'm sensitive.
Well, I can confidently say that I've never seen either one of you give criticism that was, like, out of pocket. That was, like...
Yeah, we don't do it on a hateful...
Yeah, no, because there's...
Or personal.
Yeah, because there's being... You know, there's being mean, being spiteful, being actually like with a real grudge towards somebody. That exists for sure. But then there's like, hey, this is just a matter of fact. This is what happened. This is how it went down.
This is some real stuff right here.
And also, I can be like, Larry, can you roll this footage to back up what I just said? Yeah. Can we roll those boos, please?
One thing, Rob comes with receipts.
Yes.
Rob will come with receipts.
I'm like, oh, you don't? Okay. Go ahead.
If some guest has showed up before and he'd ask some questions, they try to lie about it. He's like, okay, well Larry, pull up reel number 7 at 2:13 in. You said this, and they're like, they're like,
stand on it.
They're put on trial. They're like,
they'd be like,
what happened was I didn't mean to.
No,
backpedaling.
No, and I think it's needed though. It's needed. Everybody, you don't get participation trophies. Everybody doesn't get to do the big show. Everybody doesn't get a pat on the back. Everybody's not great.
Well, because at the end of the day, especially with comedy, funny is king. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It doesn't matter what the subject is, how far you are into your set, how far you are, more importantly, I feel like how far you are into your career.
It don't even matter.
If you have a career.
It don't even matter.
Did you show up?
Yeah.
And did you make people laugh?
Right.
Did you succeed in the one thing you were hired to do?
Right.
And so my opinion on what we're talking about is like booking specifically, right? And that's why, obviously, I'm coming from a big bias myself. Mm-hmm. I have only been booked for shows where the audience shows up for free. That is why, like, don't get me wrong, I show up and I do my best. And that second one I did with A-Marie, I fucking ate shit and died. It was not good.
I was out of town. Huh?
Yeah, you're out of town for that one.
Man, you fucking lucky.
Yeah. I ate shit and died.
Yeah.
But after I got done beating on myself, I was like, okay, well, at least I didn't fucking pay for it, and then I didn't get paid for the show anyway. So okay, just pick yourself up, move on, right? But then when you get into paid shows,
you gotta. That's a different beast,
right? In my opinion, if you know. Because delusion's a real thing. You have to be some sort of level of delusion to start entertainment anyway. To think that you're good enough. To think that you, at least if you're not good enough right now, you have the potential to be good enough where people eventually will pay their hard-earned money to see you. There's a level of delusion there inherently, right? But there are unhealthy amounts of delusion when it becomes, you know what, I am good enough for people to spend 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plus dollars to come see me, and then everyone surrounding you knows that you're not. Nobody knows why you got booked. And then you go up there and eat shit. And it's like, well, we should probably reassess what's going on here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, I would like to consider myself a relatively self-aware person. I know I am not good enough yet to fucking have people pay money to see me.
Bro, you're the first person I've ever heard say this. I am not lying to you.
That's kind of sad.
I've had people look me dead in my eye, and I'm like, no, the fuck you didn't just say that. I've seen you. I've seen it. And you know, a lot of people get mad when you're like, hey, man, just work towards. There's nothing wrong with working towards shit.
Well, you're supposed to.
Everybody's work toward. You don't just pop out and, hey, boom, I'm here. I'm the man. I'm the woman. Like, you have to work. And I want to hear from Sixx's perspective because he's the guy booking, like paying. How? Because I know he comes from a different perspective as us as performers. Because there's another level of not just being funny. Or do you have a following? Will people come pay to see you? Will people come to my establishment and be like, I'm paying to see Noah. Here's my money. And it's more than just his girlfriend. Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's a different level of when I learned it was more than just being funny, it was probably 3-4 years into it. And when I figured out, I was like, oh, and the crazy part is I already had a following. I didn't even consider that part. I didn't consider people like Sixx saying, hey, I want you to come to my establishment and entertain, but I want those people that like to see you and pay to see you come too.
So everything he just said, and I'm going to add one more thing on top of it, and I feel like you agree with this. So I haven't put out the episode yet, but a couple days ago I had, I think his last name is Lopez, Barney Lopez on, and he does the booking for Launchpad. And
Barney.
Yeah, I had him on. And the way he illustrated this to me from his perspective was whoever's getting booked on a lineup or on a bill, it is a gamble inherently. Based on everything that you just said, can you bring people to show up? Are you worth people spending money?
Because people will lie to you and be like, oh, I can pack it out.
Right. Right. For real. And then let's just say you manage to pack out the place, but you eat shit. And now you are somebody that ate shit at that venue. That venue attached their name to you and vice versa. So how much of that gamble do you take into consideration when you're starting to book out these shows?
So being a promoter, everything you do is a gamble. It's 50-50. What you try to do is book talent to limit your loss, meaning your liability loss. Like, okay, especially if I'm doing local stuff. Okay, I got to find people that I know have somewhat of a following, but there's a difference. People could have a following and have numbers on social media ridiculous. But are those people going to come see you and pay to see you?
Okay, but also,
is it a real life?
How much of those numbers are real?
But we've seen it.
But this is how we determine that. Yeah. You book them, and if they can only pull 10 to 15 people, you know they're bullshit. Everything they do is bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you have a fan base of $1.2 million, people, followers, and you have all this interaction, you're saying, and you do a show, whether you're a musician, a rapper, or fucking whatever you do, comedian, and you only could pull 10 people, or you can't sell 10 tickets to the event, then all that shit you do on social media, what is it for? You know what I mean? Like, it's for clout.
I was going to say, so in your opinion, so what is that for?
That it's the personal clout, the personal thing to make it look at me. It's almost like all the bitches that take pictures of themselves, like this, boom, boom, boom. Like,
hell yeah, the top one right here. Like, I'm doing it for myself.
We had talked about it that day.
We had this
conversation. I'm like, bro, like these chicks would take 15 selfies a day, wearing almost nothing, then wonder why and get mad that dudes are in their inbox.
Yeah.
Okay, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Like if we post something to social media, it's for attention.
I want you to look at my shit.
It's for attention.
Yes.
So if you post those selfies and your titties are hanging out and your ass, of course you're going to get that attention. And then when they come back and say, "Oh, it's for me,"
no, that's for
it's
the world.
Not for you.
That's
like
for the
it's
world,
not for
Craig.
you. If it was for you, you're gonna like so. Back to the show thing. So like as I'm preparing to book a show, I have to put in a lot of factors in. Who's going to bring a crowd? What am I going to charge? Is it feasible charge for them for the entertainment I'm supplying them? Is it a $5 ticket, a $10 ticket, a $20 ticket? You know, because you're right. The consumer will get upset if they pay $20 and came in. Oh my God! And it's a lot of factors. If the bar, or the club was shitty service, if the DJ was crappy, if the comedians or artists were crappy, you lost them. They're never going to come back. And the brand of my name and my company is what, you know, you have to stand on, really, pretty much. So you build a brand, and you got to keep that brand quality.
Well, you need to be protective of it.
Yes, you do. And people don't understand that. They say, why you get upset about your brand? I'm like, it took me 17 years to build my brand. I've lost my ass. I've lost people in my life because I've chose to do what I do. You know, it's not today. I had to take Rob. I was like, bro, I need you to drive because I have so much shit to do. Yeah. He heard the other side of what I had to go through, what I go through as a promoter, shit, dealing with just craziness.
Yeah.
5 hours on the phone just arguing and people trying to get over on you and trying to get the contract and like just all that.
Dealing with the venue,
so it's
the different city and
so all that comes to factor. So when you put a show together, I got to be like, okay, I want to make sure the people that come are going to be repeat customers. So what I got to do, I got to get them quality entertainment. I got to do so as a lot of these promoters that are just starting out, like there's no such thing as a quick hit scheme in this business, and they all think, oh, we could charge $20 for bring 200 people in. That's $4,000. Well, we're going to make good. No, it doesn't work that way. You know how hard it is to get 20 people in sometimes in an event.
I don't care who it
is. So it's like, you know, build your clientele first. Then you start charging later, and they won't have a problem with it because I'd be like, oh, the entertainment was good. I don't mind paying $5. I don't mind paying $10. I don't mind paying this, and that's the way it kind of weak and have garbage entertainment, bro. Like, I mean,
thank you.
What it does, it hurts the scene. Okay, so and it's just not comedy. It's in the music and especially in the rap scene. I've seen that my whole career too. Like, because comedy just in the last like 5 years seemed like it's really gotten big out here.
So here's my question then. Fuck, there's so much there. Okay, so here's my question. Because again, this is just where my brain, and again, I'm very biased. Right, but this is just where my brain kind of sets the threshold for it. It's like, I don't want, preface it by saying this. I don't want any comedy to be bad. Whether it's a free show, a paid show, an online special, I never want comedy to be bad because I love watching comedy, right? However,
I don't know. Sometimes bad comedy is hilarious to me.
Bro. It can be for sure. But like for instance, me, Joey, and our buddy Dave, we went down to a free show a couple months ago, and I was like, "Hey, I've been here a couple times. It's pretty sick. Like it's okay. Like it's free. Yeah, the beer's good. Like at the worst case scenario, we're gonna be doing something out tonight, and we'll have a couple beers, right? So we went there, and without a doubt, the worst fucking show they've ever put on there. Yeah. It was absolute fuck. It was at Alvado. It was fucking terrible. And both Joey. Am I wrong? You're mic'd up, dude. Am I wrong?
It was pretty bad.
It was fucking horrible.
Okay, so does that make you be like, you know what? I'm cool on these comedy shows.
No.
Okay.
Not really, because I do enjoy comedy. Not as much as him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an average consumer of comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Like watching one bad show is not going to make me feel like, oh, all these next shows are going to be.
Some people like that though. A lot of people are like that.
And also, I want to point out like you're biased because you're one of my close friends, so you're exposed to more comedy than I am, and I'm fucking say, hey, we should go do this, we should go do that. So you're more inclined rather than let's say you're just a dude, and because Alvado has a fucking banner out that says comedy Thursday night comedy presented by Dry Heat, right? So let's say you're just a dude driving down Central, you dropped in that same night that we went, watch it eat shit. Yeah. You're probably gonna be like, never want to go back. But I bring that up because the way my brain works is like, okay, it's not as bad just because it was free. You didn't pay money to step in and watch the show. But then at the same time, what you just said, they now attach that to Albuquerque comedy. Where it's like, if the free comedy was shit, why am I going to go watch a paid show, especially if there's crossover between this person was on a free show and they're on the paid show and they ate shit on the free show, so why am I going to go watch the paid show?
Are they going to turn it on because they're paid?
Like, does that make sense?
And that's the problem. So, like, what you'd have to do is you can't be mad at the venue. So people always want to take it out on the venue. The venue's doing what they can to bring people in. They need it. You know, they're going to do comedy, they're going to do live music, whatever.
Right.
So at that point, if you go to a bad show, you can't say, oh, I'm never going to come to this venue again or this comedy show they do. No, what you do is like, I'll make sure I'll never go see this dude again.
Yeah, yeah.
If he's trash, you know what I mean? But everybody has their rough nights. Everybody will bomb.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where like, if someone just consistently bombs you, be like, oh, okay, well, we're just not going to go where he's at. You know what I mean? Or we're not going to go follow him.
It's not even about bombing sometimes. You have the thing that I love about Albuquerque, and it's also a curse, you have a comedy crowd that's the same faces at different venues.
Yeah.
And you know what the biggest complaint that we've heard? Man, we know that set front to back.
Well, okay.
And the thing is, I think us as comedians, that's when you survey your crowd. And that's where you work on what you have going on. And you know, okay, these people may have seen this before. Let me tweak it. Let me go a different route. Because is that not the biggest thing that we've heard?
Yeah, we like the repeat jokes. But that's where it comes to the comedian. You have to
so how
you
big
have something in the chamber. You got to know. You don't know what your crowd's going to pull in. Like if you're booked for a show, you don't know who's going to be there. It could be all fresh faces, or it could be the people you've seen the last 20 times. And those last 20 times, those people have heard the same joke. Now you prepare to be able to get off that. You ignore them, or you just one track minded. Like I got to stick to my set. I got to stick to my set.
So here's where I push back on that. Just because we have such a young comedy scene here, right? Most of the people here doing comedy have been doing it under 10 years. And from what I've learned in my short amount of time, not only just like trying stand-up comedy, but just studying in general of like how long does it take people to really pop in the entertainment industry? Where does that really happen? Like just across all media, and then zeroing in on comedy, just so I can not only set realistic expectations for myself, but just so I can learn. Right? Gauge things, learn. So where I push back on that is because I agree. In a perfect world, a comedian, someone who, okay, how do I define that? Somebody who considers themselves a comedian. I think that's the most general way to do it, and the most, like, not inclusive, but, like, I think that blankets most people here that do comedy. People that consider themselves a comedian. That, like, if they introduce themselves to you at a show, more likely than not, they would be like, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comic. So anybody who considers themselves a comedian, in a perfect world, they do have enough in the arsenal where it's like, okay, I've got a room in front of me of 30 people. Let's just say average, right? I've got about 30 people in front of me, and now 10 of these people I know for a fact I have seen either at my comedy show or at other comedy shows before. And let's say this person is the headliner, and it's like, I haven't seen this person at my show, but I know they've done like the feature show. Oh, the opener brought these 3 people. The feature got these 5, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to, in a perfect world, I change up my stuff. But because of how small the comedy scene is here, how young it is, and then how young the comedians are inside of it, is a little bit of that criticism invalid just because if you are a consumer of comedy and you are going out regularly and you know for a fact, let's say in a month,
right,
you know for a fact that let's say February's over and I just saw, and this isn't a knock because he's a fucking awesome comedian,
right,
and he knows exactly how I feel about him. If in the last month I went and saw Zach Abeda 6 times,
right,
is it fair for me to leverage that criticism against him and say, well, I basically saw like 70% the same stuff every time?
So here's the thing. All right.
Not that his shows are like that, but just as an example.
I'm gonna put it to the where you said the young comics. Those are the ones at the open mics, right?
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yes, but in general.
So how many open mics do we have?
So right now,
I don't even know.
We have, so we've got one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then sometimes there's 2 on Saturday, I think, and then every other Sunday or whatever.
So that's a lot of open mics for this small of a comedy scene, right?
Agreed.
And there's some people there's a lot of them that have perfect attendance to the open mics, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the open mic time is not being used what it should be used for, which is to work on shit. If you go to open mics multiple times a week, then you get booked and you're doing those same jokes, and then you go to the open mics the next fucking week and you're saying those same jokes at the open mic and you get booked. That's what's happening. That's why I say no. Because look here. I have only been, and I'm not comparing myself to
real
anybody.
Shit.
The open mic is the gym. That's where when you get out of the gym, you want to show your fucking muscles.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of people where they're fucking up, where they're feeling like they should be booked, or they do get booked and do the same shit, it's like, why are you going to these open mics then? You're supposed to be working on, like, okay, you worked on that joke at every open mic, then it bombed. Then you went back to all the open mics, said the same jokes at the open mics again, and then got booked and bombed again.
So I want to expand on your point, but I want to get your opinion on something really quick. And this is a personal thing that I've been trying to work through with writing my material. So
the open mic is where you should be vulnerable.
You should
just let it fly.
I feel like once I've done a joke, let's make this general, right? Excuse me. Once I've done a joke, I honestly don't know that I've done one joke 3 times at the same mic because I feel uncomfortable.
There you go.
I feel uncomfortable at the second time because of like.
But you should. That's where you should repeat.
But
the open mic is where you work it out.
Right.
Hey, I went one night. I got to put some tweaks to it. Boom. I come the next night. And until you work it out there until you feel it's perfected and it's funny enough to be, when you do get booked, I can throw it out there.
Well, and the reason why I have issues with it, though, like past the second time telling that joke, is like you guys just illustrated where you go to a regular comedy show, paid or otherwise, right? We pay entry or otherwise, right? You have those same people going to see comedy more or less. Let's say a 50% rate of the audience of the same people that normally go to comedy shows anyway. Those open mics, for the most part, are the same. I would say 90% of people just transplanted because they're all comics, more or less trying to work on their shit.
Well, that's another thing. You ain't telling your jokes for them.
Right, exactly. And that's something that I never really realized until I heard a podcast. It was between Taurus, I forget the guy's name, but it was Bobby Lee's podcast.
Yeah.
And they were talking about open mics, and Bobby was like, yeah, you don't go to an open mic to get laughs. You go to an open mic to do your shit. So then where I become uncomfortable with it right now is I'm just like, I'm doing these jokes for these people, or doing in front of these people, not for them, but in front of these people over and over and over. Where can I gauge the feedback to where I can now take that joke, even if it's not ready yet.
So this is the difference between Albuquerque, and me and Sixx talk about this a lot. Albuquerque in a big city, you're not going to get that. You got to get that within yourself. Because what I've seen, and you know my story about open mics, I've only been to 3 ever.
Yeah.
My thing here is I don't tell jokes for comedians.
Yeah.
And I know that's who's there. But you should be able to gauge when this motherfucker hit. This feels good. The flow of this feels good because I've worked it out. One of my biggest jokes came from the first time I did an open mic. I did Rusty's open mic downtown. It was at Side Effects, and I think it was Comedy Bingo. And the joke that I came up with was the piñata joke,
which is still my favorite.
That joke, I came up with that. I had the premise, but the first time I ever said it was there, and I knew, even though people didn't laugh, I was like, oh, I know this is going to be the one. This is going to be a good one. So I think here it's different. You don't, at open mics here, you don't throw it out to get the feedback from them. You got to gauge that within yourself. And that kind of sucks, though, because we're hard on ourselves.
So you're just it's almost like you're just hearing yourself speak, and there happens to be an audience there, then you got to gauge it.
And also, you also have to film it.
I think open mics are, and you're right, I was going to say that. So open mics are a place for you to go practice your set.
Yes.
And not only just your jokes, but your stage presence.
There you delivery.
That is the number one thing
so
that I get
people
out of
don't understand that like stage presence is 50% of
I would say more.
And I would say, and it could be.
Well, here's why I say that, because I'm sorry to cut you off, but the reason I say that, and I said it to you, I've said it to Steph and Josh. If you were to write down on paper some of my favorite sets from you three, it
makes no sense.
It's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Yeah. It's stupid. But then you see it delivered through this fucking vessel.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. This is so fun.
And that's the thing. Like a joke could be mediocre, but your delivery and your body language and how you are on stage can make it hilarious. And it's like that across the board. And it's like I tell like even entertainer rappers and all them, like you guys got to go and practice. You can't just be in the mirror rapping to yourself. Like 50, and to me in the music, 50% of your your being an artist is your stage presence.
presence.
And there's so many
performance.
Even artists now that are huge artists, they sound great behind the mic in the studio, but you see them on stage and it's a horrible. They just up there with the mic rapping. Boring. Comedians, just one spot. They look nervous. They don't feel comfortable. I mean, it's
the crowd picks up on that
so
shit.
open mic is a place for you to work on every aspect of your talent. And you're right. You work on new jokes. You work on you hammer it. And if the people ain't, I mean, most of these comics, if they're not laughing, but you know when you hit it, you know yourself. Okay, I got this down. And when you do, you'll hear the chuckles. Yeah. You'll see their face. And now they might hate and not want to laugh because they like, because that's what you get. But you'll know. You'll know by looking in their eyes.
You know the comedians be there like.
First of all, thank you for saying everything you just said. Because I hate admitting this about myself, but validation's a thing, and thank you for that. Yeah. A. And B, I get more like not checking a box because it kind of diminishes it, but I get more like confirmation of my material at an open mic when I make a comedian exactly. They just go
and
like that more than I do like an actual laugh. Yeah. Like, okay, you just
because you can take that out in the world and it's
exactly.
going
So it's like okay, if you're just sitting there on your phone or if you're sitting there writing your material and I made you stop from whatever you're doing to chuckle and you're an experienced comedian, okay, all right, that might be something there. I'll take that out and transplant it. So here's my question, and either one can take this. So Albuquerque's comedy scene is comparative to obviously like LA or New York, but even like Boston, Chicago, Austin, Nashville.
We should compare it to what it used to be.
It's small, right? But it's better now, but it's small, right? It's growing
compared to those cities.
Like the amount of open mics you can do in a week here, in some cities you can do a night or 2 nights.
Yep.
Right. So here's a thought that I have. Okay, so we talked a little bit earlier about these mainly free shows, shows in general, being representative of the comedy scene, right? Because random people can stumble into El Vado. Random people can stumble into wherever there's a free comedy show happens. Like, oh, well, this fucking comedy sucks. So I'm not going to go to other stand-up comedy. Okay, so here's my first point. Should the people booking even just your regular free shows, hey, come see these next 3 comedians on a Thursday night or Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, come have a good time at this brewery or this, like, wherever it's going to be at, smoke shop, whatever. Should they be taking their booking? I feel it might be a stupid question because I already know my answer to it. Should they take booking that show as seriously as you take booking your shows, A? And then my second question is, because of how tiny the comedy scene is right now, and it's not going to stay, it will not be this way in 6 months because of everything that's happening right now. Right. It's not going to be this way in 6 months. Like I put out the clip today and I mentioned you and Steph and Josh and Zach. Playtime's fucking over. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. And I've only been doing this like consistently since like October. Mm-hmm. Well, August. August. Playtime's fucking over. And I feel like because of a lot of people getting used to the comedy scene being the way it is, very small, compact, everyone knows each other. We can all book each other on our same shows to really get each other more. And in the name, and I'm going to err on the side of benefit of the doubt. Yeah. We're getting each other more stage time, so we have more time to practice doing what we love. Okay, great. Is that only happening and is producing, and I've been there, so I can say this as someone that loves comedy, like, and as a consumer.
Noah, you got some long-ass questions,
I know.
Bro.
I've been like that.
I forgot the first one already.
I'll circle back.
You got us drinking this Dukes of Hazzard bourbon, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to stick with you. I forgot the first fucking question.
So are these free shows, whether directly or indirectly, are these free shows promoting bad comedy and stunting growth, right? Yeah. And then, because it's not being taken as seriously they probably should be, right? And then, because of how tiny this comedy scene is and how complacent some people have gotten, that might have bigger aspirations. Yeah. When the big stuff starts coming in 6 months, in a year from now, year and a half from now, will that create an even bigger divide? So, should they be taking booking shows seriously? Yeah, okay. Are these free shows damaging the comedy scene where they're bad shows where it's just people booking their friends and just doing these bullshit shows like open mics just a step above, right? And then is complacency going to kill it in the long run?
So anybody that's producing or putting a show together should take pride in anything they do. In other words, it don't matter if it's a free show, if it's a paid gig show, you should take it all the same. You want quality in everything you do, and you don't want to suffer the venue. You don't want to suffer your name. You don't want to suffer the city. You know, so yes, you got to take pride in everything you do in this business. If you don't, then what's the point? Like, are you even trying to do it as a business? And that's the problem. Like, so many people don't understand. Like, if you're really in the scene, are you really trying to make it as a comedian? Or are you just happy just bullshitting around the town?
Bro,
what are you trying to do?
Are you
trying to be a promoter to make money? Or are you just trying to do it to get the bitches to look cool? Or are you just trying to do it to get free drinks at the club?
Hey, if you're getting chicks at a fucking open mic, maybe you should be giving seminars.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you need to go to the clinic. That's where you need to go.
So
I hope you got Medicaid, motherfucker.
So as your first question there, right there, always take this shit serious.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're trying to do the city and the scene a service.
Yeah.
And by putting on some half-ass shows or some raggedy shit, you're not doing no service to yourself, the comedians that you're booking, or the venues that are letting you come in. And why do you think so many venues, some now, don't want shit in there?
Okay, thank you, because I was going to expand on the venues.
A lot of venues are cutting people out because they're like, bro, we tried this and it was garbage.
Yep.
Or
because
it got burned.
they pulled their weight, and I've said this about comedy and music. Venues, especially fucking breweries, have been pulling their weight through the pandemic and even to now, entering 2024. They have pulled their weight and they have given these people stage time. And what I'm really scared of, I'm gonna make this quick. What I'm scared of is that dry heat's here to stay.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up dry heat a little bit later, because I got some cool stuff from Sarah. But dry heat's here to stay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Quezadas, I hope they stick around. I hope that goes the distance.
It's very much needed.
I hope it's here, right?
But we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we'll get to that. And then I hope that Hyenas opens up and it stays here, right?
Yeah.
But so now that like the trio of comedy clubs is here, what I think is going to trickle down to these venues who've been putting up they've pushing their weight, and they're like, hey, we've been helping you guys do these shows, but you've been not booking all that. Like you said before, everybody has their bad nights.
Well, here's the thing.
But now real comedy's here. We're not going to do it anymore.
Go ahead,
that's my word.
And venues
I don't
feel
think
that.
so.
But this is where
I don't think so, but I'll let it go.
This is where the venue has to say, okay, I want to put up money to bring in a headliner, so we could attract people in here and keep people here. Or the promoter that's put it on the show say, you know what? Let me put my money out and take the risk and do a show and bring a headliner that will help bring people in. Then we filter 2 or 3 opening acts. So, I mean, until you do that, when those comedy clubs come and they start bringing these headliners and they're taking away the business and it's empty at the beers, they've had all these chances to do something, but they're tight and they don't want to spend money. They're cheap. They get in the cheap mode.
I disagree for a little bit, and I'll tell you why. There's leagues to it. There's comedians that we know. People can't walk. There's people who can't even walk in the dry heat and give you 10 minutes. There's people that can't go to Quezadas. There's people who are not ready for Hyenas, so they need the El Vados. They need those. Even though we will say whatever, there are groups of comedians who need that too, but they got to use that to work up to get into dry heat, work up to get in Quezadas, work up to get to Hyenas. Now, where I don't agree with you is that will never go away, because I'll give you a prime example. AJ De Leon.
Yeah, shout out to AJ, dude.
AJ De Leon, and I wish you would have came to the show.
Big shout out to AJ.
We did the Make Comedy Great Again.
On a Monday night.
On a Monday. And I showed you how many people were there. He is not ready for what we said, but have something like Tractor. You think Tractor's going to tell him, hey, nah, man, there's people are going to go. He has a following.
And you're bringing in business.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's the difference. He takes pride in what he's doing.
There you go.
Yes.
And so as long as you got people like that, the venues are going to welcome you. You think he's doing good on a Monday? Guess what's going to happen? I told him, hey, your Mondays, you might as well get ready to change that day, because they see this on a Monday. They're like, what the fuck can he do on a Wednesday? What can he do on a Thursday? Fuck it, let's give him a Friday.
The weekend starts on Thursday.
Yes. And so I don't think that will go anywhere, as long as you have people who take pride in what they do, because he loves this shit, and he already has a following. They're not going to turn those people down, because you know what? Who's going to Tractor on a fucking Monday?
Well, I will say this. On that first,
I'm just saying, he had that shit packed.
But here's exactly. I agree with you. Yeah. But on that first Monday where they did their first show, I went, and honestly, I'm not knocking Pierce. I'm not knocking AJ. I want them to take full responsibility for what that show was because it was packed to the brim. Some of the comedians didn't do all right, but it's fine. It was a free show. It was the first run. Like we were just talking about, just my opinion, free show, bombed, whatever. But there's a ton of people there. So what I was curious about was like, okay, because we had talked about that. Right. Me and him talked about it after the show because he'd asked my feedback, and I was like, honestly, dude, I think the biggest detractor from that show on that first Monday they did was it was so fucking loud from everybody talking, you could barely hear the comedians.
But that's what breweries,
exactly. So then I told him, I was like,
that's the end. So I'm going to tell you this. Yep. As a performer, that's not a fucking excuse.
I agree.
You have you have the control. I don't give a fuck how many people it is. If you're saying something that makes them shut the fuck up and watch you,
I agree.
There you go.
If you're entertaining enough, I love a crowd that's like that. Oh,
I know you do. I know you do.
Let me get that.
There was one show at Revel. I forget what show it was, but you were performing. Like you're doing like an actual. You weren't hosting. You're doing an actual set, and the people. It might have been one of the roast battles. Actually, I take that back.
It was. I remember. Was it the two ladies in the back? Remember them?
Yeah. No, it was the whole bar.
Oh, the whole bar. Yeah.
If the people in the back would shut the fuck up, and they just. Yeah, so I agree.
You have to command that.
But I told him, I was like, okay, in my opinion, you have to take my advice. I think he did in the end. But I was like, hey, what I would say, $5 at the door. So at least that that everyone walking in the door knows it's a comedy show. Okay, great. So I told him, I was like, I don't know how many people.
Plus, get your money.
Yeah. And I don't know how many people are going to turn away at the door.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to go through with it. We'll see what happens. Because that place, they had like 90 plus people that first Monday. And I told him this. I don't know how many or how much of those people came for the comedy. I don't know how much of those people came in for the beer. Right. Okay, great. But then that second show happened, and it was at the fire marshal capacity. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
It was well
on
over
a Monday, and it was a holiday.
And I gotta say though, and this is not a knock, obviously, because I'm so glad he got the lineup he did. The lineup was everyone that I know will go up there and kill. That they are gonna go up there and slaughter, and that's why I was sad I had to leave a bit early because I missed AJ's set. But I mean, he got kudos from you, so I trust that he did well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Because but this is what you do early. It ain't. A lot of people think, okay, when I start, I gotta get out here. No, fuck that. Get your people.
Yeah.
And I told AJ, get your people. I did the same thing. Get your people. Get in front of them. Do your shit because you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to be confident because it's faces that you know.
That's what you told me after my first show. Because my first show that I did, I had
some people.
I had my friends show up.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit.
And he has a room full of people. And what that's going to parlay to is I'm going to go to another venue where people don't know me or I don't know them, but I worked on my shit. So to have that's good, bro. That's some good shit.
And I agree with what you said a little bit earlier. That there are leagues and there are like stepping stones.
It's levels.
And building blocks to where you end up, okay, you go to dry heat, Quezadas, hyenas.
We got to have that because if all of that ends and we just have dry heat, Quezadas, and hyenas.
That's what I'm scared of.
All of this down here, you're fucked.
That's what I'm scared of because
but that's where Sixx comes into play when he says you got to have pride and be like, fuck this. I'm trying to get there. And remember when I told you the good thing about having these places here is the younger comedians have something to strive for now.
Yes.
What did you strive for before? Thank you. Oh gosh, I hope I can get on Sixx and Buck's Gong Show. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it was because.
Well, we do pay you, motherfuckers. Like, we pay you real. Shout out to Tyler. Tyler Lovely won $750.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like
he's still living off it to this day, a year later.
I don't know. I think he cocaine that shit out the first night, bro.
No, that's some real shit though, because I was like, okay,
but maybe
the Gong Show, or maybe if just in my own mind,
jokes and jams,
in my own mind, I was like, man, if I'm like.
Because we put you in front of a lot of fucking people,
I don't know if
bro.
I know I'm not good enough to be on the Gong Show. Maybe if the podcast is well enough, I can get a crowd so I could be a guest judge, maybe. But even then, I don't know yet. Yeah. And then it's like,
look at him. Look at him. You see what he's doing? You think he dropped that little dime? He's like, maybe he think he's slick. Yes, you could be a judge.
But
you could be a judge. No, all right.
Okay,
you can be a judge.
But then I think to myself too, it's like, well, if we remove the free show opportunities here that these breweries are offering, right? Then it goes from, and this is not a knock on Dry Heat, but it goes from open mic to Dry Heat, and I've told her this multiple times, and I continue to. I'm very thankful that Sarah sat down for fucking 3 hours to explain everything about Dry Heat, the mindset, the business, everything, right? And she agreed 100%. Like, she's booking people based on what she's going to be protecting, whatever her vision is for that club.
Right.
And if I don't fit that, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's a smaller capacity club than Quezada's.
Yeah.
And if I can't, and you mentioned something, I want to say it was on your podcast, because you were talking about Quezada's, because Quezada's they're set up like the LA Improv, where it's like the brick behind you with the insignia. So then with Dry Heat, if I can't get into Dry Heat and get footage of me up there with the logo, the logo behind me showing that I'm in a comedy club, what the fuck am I going to do? So that's what you are completely right. I agree with you about the lower level. You need that more stage time to build that up and do more things. Because again, at these open mics, you only get 5 minutes. Yeah. So, and that's great for me, for people like me, right? At my level, that is great, to where I can hammer in an opening set, to where I can feel more confident than I do right now to go do an opening and not completely eat shit. Right. But it's like, okay, I feel like you still need more opportunities. Like, okay, I did 5 minutes of open mic. I'm okay with that. All right. I want the opportunity to do 10 continuous minutes, 15 continuous minutes, so I can hammer in a feature act.
Yeah, it's like building. It's Legos, bro.
Exactly. So, okay, Quezada's. Okay. All right.
Who do you want to talk to about this? Let's let Sixx talk first, and I'll talk last.
So I'm trying to figure out, because there needs to be a lot of context to this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'll go first then.
So here's how we'll start. Quezada's, the new club in Santa Ana. All right. It was in December, right?
First Tuesday in December.
Okay. Yeah. So it was like the tryout night, pretty much, right? It was like, that's what it seemed like to me.
That's what it was.
That's what it seemed like to me. It
was like 30 of us.
Yeah, there was the top performers of Albuquerque's comedy got picked out and said, hey, you're going to do an X amount of time. Yeah.
Not all. Some.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that, because fucking Steph wasn't on there, and that didn't make any sense to me. There you go. That made zero sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So 30 of what the producer, Steven Quezada, and whoever the promoter of that club is, whoever they thought was the best.
Nope, that's not right.
Okay, what was it then? So because there was 30 people showed up to try out to be features at the club.
The only reason why I can speak on this is because I got contacted.
Okay.
I got contacted November, October. Hey, this is happening. Even though I already knew, because I told Sixx, I said, hey, bro, they're about to have a comedy club. Because I heard it in the barbershop, the people that were building.
Yeah.
They was like, bro, you're going to be out there? And I was like, hell yeah, it's a comedy club. So I got contacted about who should be called to do the auditioning. Because the people who were supposed to pick, they're not in the scene like that. And to be honest, I'm not either. I know the top. I don't know everybody. I'll tell you a name. I'm going to say a name and on up. I go from Mateo on up. If you know who Mateo is, Mateo's a comedian. I love this dude. Remember him from the Gong Show? Yeah. I fucking loved it. This dude is fucking hilarious. Did he move away? No, he's here. He's putting out new shit. I've seen him on IG. So I say for myself, I know Mateo on up. Anything under that, I don't know. But I was like, this person. Suggestions. So then that's how that happened. And I believe these people were told to come up with the list because Quezada's don't know the scene, bro. Yep. He don't be out like that. And which he shouldn't be. He's got a lot of other shit to do.
I was going to say.
Yeah, he's not. But you know, so anybody's going to delegate somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Everybody wasn't. They should have. Steph wasn't there. AJ Matthews wasn't there.
He wasn't?
No. Zach wasn't there, but Zach was in Austin. Zach was out of town. So it was some people that you should have gotten that opportunity that didn't. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to play devil's advocate through a lot of this.
Yeah.
Just so we can get not just a full picture of it, but I want to bring up not only just what the natural criticism, I guess, right? So should these people that are going out, like the owner of the club, I'm assuming he's a part owner just because it's a part of the casino. Steven Quezada, like you just said, he shouldn't be out there like scouting, right? He has people. He has people.
Delegate.
So he has people for that. Okay,
if
so
your name's on the building, you ain't gonna be sweeping in that motherfucker.
Exactly. So the people that are given the job go find the comedians. Should those people be A, should they be comics? And then B, should they be individuals that are in the scene? And you can define in the scene however you like.
What do you think, Sixx?
No, because you're going to play favoritism.
Okay.
And the problem that comes, and it might be self-conscious, no one wants to book anyone funnier than yourself. You don't want to,
Why? Why is that?
Because people have that ego trip, like they don't want someone to outshine them because it might take their shine, it might take their job,
and
it might take their position and what they're in.
And is that specific to New Mexico, or is that something you've seen everywhere?
Oh, that's something I've seen everywhere, and that goes even in the music scene.
You know what's so funny?
Promoters that are actually musicians or rappers, they want to put themselves on the pedestal first, and they're gonna pussyfoot around and not book anybody locally that's could outshine them because that might catch the attention. Like, I'm booking these people and the show's not doing that great or the opening's not that great. Now this one comedian comes in and kills it. He's locally. Now the owner or someone's going to catch the managers and be like, hey, well, let's bring that guy back. Let's bring him back again. Like, he's one of them, you know what I mean? And then guess what? Now the pressure's on this guy. Why don't you bring him here? Why don't you bring people like that here?
Yeah.
And your theory for that is based off of pure hubris.
Yes.
Okay, and because here's my thing with that, right? Because I would imagine that if you are, and maybe this is wishful thinking, maybe this is just how my brain works, right? If I am a comedian and I have the opportunity to be booking shows for a legit club, like a legitimate fucking comedy club,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they are better than me. I need to put myself aside. I'm like, okay, I've been given the job to book for a business. My job right now is to bring this business as much money as humanly possible. Now, who can we get out of this local scene? I need if they're
it pop and make it.
If it's better than me, fuck it.
But that's the problem. People don't think business wise that they're selfish about themselves. And you're absolutely right. Like, your job. You have to separate your job from who you are. If you're a comedian, you're not. You're there to do a job. You're there to book shit. You're there to get shit done.
But so that's why.
And it happens. In everything.
Here's the part I gotta disagree on, because I used to be like that. If you go back and look at the Dry Heat podcast before it started, I said, Sarah asked me, "Do you think a comedy club would work if it's run by a comedian?" I said, "Fuck no." Same reason Sixx said. It could work, but I think it's got to be a team up thing of someone who's not in the scene and someone who is. Only way I say it has to be, it can work like that is if someone's in the scene there. We can see somebody that's funny, but as a comedian, we know they're not professional. They may not show up. They're going to be late. They might show up high. The shit that we don't see that a comedian who's in the scene knows. That's where it can be valuable. So I think it could be a kind of a mixture. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, and so I agree, and I think that the person that's going to be booking these, or it should be a team booking shows, especially at a level of Quezada. It shouldn't be just one person.
Right. And we don't know the inner. We don't know none of that. We're just
my thought process on that is that, like, you're right, just to get rid of the good old boy system or to get rid of favoritism and stuff like that. But at the same time, you need somebody who can accurately, obviously, that's the assumption, right? That it's accurate.
Yeah.
You need somebody who kind of send out like little like pulses, like little sounding. Like, okay, who hits this vibration of what we're looking for right now? And you're able to pick from that. Because again, and honestly, if, and this is a general statement, if it through your eyes as a producer, right, or somebody who promotes events, creates events, books events, you have like you said a little bit earlier, you have a brand to protect. If you have found generally that hiring someone who is a entertainer
in whatever genre, whatever community or scene they're a part of, if you have found that hiring these people has led to favoritism and has led to, well, I'll hire people, but they can't be better than me because I happen to be on this show too, yeah, why would you go out and do that again?
Yeah.
Because, again, you're taking these gambles. And if it's 50-50, coin toss.
And every show you do is, at the end of the day, like, it's about bringing entertainment and talent that's going to make money for the venue, the door, whatever you have. And at that point, you got to put whatever you have aside. It's like,
so you've booked people you were like, hell no.
It's like me.
Yeah.
There's times I want to do this big ass show and I want to book this artist because I like them.
Yeah.
Or there's times I don't want to book a show because I don't care for these artists.
Yeah.
But it's not about me. It's not about if Rob liked it or not. It's about what's going to sell tickets. Just because I don't like it don't mean 10,000 people are going to show up. Just because he don't like it don't mean 2,000 people are going to show up. Now, we might book the people we like, and guess what? 10 people might show up.
Nobody coming.
You know what I mean? So it's, you really, really have to, like, when you get into it, you really have to put it down and think about business wise, like what genre that we're in, or what am I trying to cater to? What establishment am I in? What are we trying to pull? If I'm in a country bar, I'm not going to be booking a rap artist.
Yeah, and
there,
I think we should add more context just because why we're talking about Quezadas on this specific episode, because you guys had a podcast about a month ago.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
About a month ago,
I need
right?
some more of this.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah. Oh yeah, go right ahead. Yeah. So
let's get into it.
You guys had a podcast.
Not a lot though.
and you levied criticism against the club and how that night went.
Now, mind you guys, all right, so this is my personal story.
Yes.
I am not telling anyone else not to do anything with Quezadas.
I went to Quezadas. I had a great fucking time.
This is my personal, as a comedian, and I talked to my brother about it because I thought I may have been tripping. I was like, do I got the big head, bro? Like, am I doing too much? And Sixx looked at me. He's like, fuck no. He said, you will not do this. And I'll tell you why. So
let's start with we did
the Tuesday, right?
How did that go?
It was the best I've seen all those comedians ever. And I think it was because of the environment, the nervous energy, the professionalism, the way that the whole setup, bro. And you got the room with the TV, we could see people performing. You got the hallway right behind the stage where you can see the line of comedians working on their shit. It reminded me of, to be honest, a more upscale comedy store. That's what, because when you walk into the comedy store as a performer, as a performer, you walk into the back and there's a long hallway. And at the end of the hallway, you have the main room. To the right side, you have the steps to go up to the belly room. In that hallway, you're going to run into all these comedians. There's some working on their shit. There's some talking shit. There's some looking at you like you about to bomb. There's other people giving you thumbs up. And on those, the only thing that's missing is they don't have the pictures of the legends that have performed there. That's what it reminded me of. And I was telling everyone, because there was shit, more than 50% of the people performed never been in a comedy club. They've been in breweries, bars. They were nervous as fuck. Was I not sending pictures? I was like, these motherfuckers nervous as hell. Look at them. Because that's me.
They were like sweating.
Bro, yeah. And then, you know what? That pressure did not bust the pipes. They killed it.
That's awesome. That's
they
so
killed it.
Beautiful to hear.
You had two shows. The first sheet, my name's here. My name was fourth from the bottom because the last one was Stephen Michael Quezadas. Then they tell me, hey, we're scrapping these people. We're going to give, because everybody had 5 minutes. So let me say this. Let me say this. I'm going to go back to the whole process of this whole thing. You had to send a bio. You had to send a headshot. You had to send any of what you thought to Stephen Michael Quezadas that would, I guess, impress him or let him know your resume. I sent him my hour special. I sent him my bio. I sent him all my socials. I sent him a headshot, right? So, first of all, I'm already offended. I'm not lying to you.
Why?
Because this is Albuquerque.
Okay, so can I push back on that?
Yes,
because
go ahead.
that was the first criticism I had of your episode.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
And here's why. And this was kind of compounded upon after I talked with Sarah. Mm-hmm. And going back, and this has already been a theme, where it's protecting your brand, right? Protecting your business. I get it. it's Albuquerque.
Right.
This is not Austin. This is not LA. This is not New York. This is not Boston or Chicago.
Right.
However, and they know that, right? They know that, hey, and they're kind of existing in a carcass of a failed venue anyway.
Right.
Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest here, right? It was the stage that shut down because of COVID and because I'm sure of other auxiliary reasons. But at the end of the day, it was a business that closed where they are at now.
Right.
So they're probably already nervous going in because of that. A. B. Laugh shut down.
Right.
I don't know why Laugh shut down. I've never been told a real story on what happened, but I would imagine the business, financial paid a huge part of it. I'd imagine that crime paid a part of it too. Albuquerque, New Mexico, it just fucking happens, right? So there have been 2 major comedy clubs, well, let's say comedy venues, prominent relative to what Albuquerque can provide, right? 2 of them have already existed and they have not worked out. And the only one we have right now is Dry Heat. And Dry Heat, while not the biggest room, they're doing quite well for themselves, especially without a liquor license. So they're probably looking at it as a case study. Like, okay, great, sounds good. All right. Now they're going into, okay, we're going to pick out the comedians that are going to be like, not past, obviously, but it's going to be like, okay, this is going to be our roster for when we book out these people. Who can we attach to what touring comedian is going to come to Albuquerque? So, because I listened to your episode, your segment on this a couple of times to kind of form my thought about it.
Right.
I get it. I get your perspective because...
And there's a little more, but go ahead.
Yeah. Just from what you've outlined, right?
Yeah,
it's like you have done more than most, if not every comedian in the city. I don't know of another comedian in this, a working comedian in this city. And again, to go back to my older earlier definition of a working comedian, someone who considers themselves a comedian, right? I don't know of a comedian in town right now that has a special, let alone an hour special. Because now we're kind of entering, now with YouTube and free specials being a thing, we're entering a world where your special isn't necessarily an hour. It could be 45 minutes.
Right.
It could be 25, 30. We're entering that world, right? So that being said, you are the only comic in town right now that has an hour-long special. Okay, great. I understand why, from your point of view, it's like, I have built my resume. You can just fucking look me up and see what I'm doing. Why am I trying out?
No. So
okay.
that's not my, that's because let me give you the second part of it.
Okay.
You got to understand how I was contacted. I was contacted by one of my coworkers at Kiss 97.3, DJ Animal. He's the host out there, right? Another former radio co-host at where I was at the Hustle, Keith Breckenridge. Those were the 2 that contacted me. Those were the 2 contact people to get the comedians to come in and try out, right? So I was told, hey, when I'm not hosting, you'll be hosting all this other stuff. You're going to feature all, yes. Okay. The only reason I even went, there's 2 reasons that I did that first night. One is because for whatever reason, people don't think I can do a 5-minute set. I said, cool, I'm going to show them. 2, I wanted the footage because we were told it was being filmed and you get your footage and that shit is gold.
Gold, yeah.
Quezada's Cantina comedy in your back, boom, clear, 4K, whatever. So it wasn't me being upset that I had to try out. It was the upsetting part at the end as well because we go, and what I loved about that night is it was a real comedy setting. You didn't know if you got pulled. There was 3 people who got pulled from me and got put on the second show. They do that in real comedy shows.
Yeah.
Jamar Hall, 2 other people got pulled and put on the second show. They tell me, you're going to feature for Steven. We're going to give you, I think I did 10, 15 minutes. I don't know what they told me. They's like, you get extra. I'm prepared. Boom. Smoke it. Hey, we're going to, we'll hit you up. That's what they tell everybody. And so I was like, I know, I'm confident. So going back to the whole, it's a little bit of that, but it's also what I was told. You know what I mean? So
to clarify.
And also, comedy is on word of mouth. It's also if someone vouches for you.
The vouch, right.
That's where I'm like, what the fuck?
So just to clarify, because this is the impression that I got from your guys' segment on it. The impression that I got is that you were upset that you were asked to try out.
That's a part of it.
Okay.
That is a part of it.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I'm agreeing to that.
Okay. So the reason I disagree with,
Because I think there's four of us for sure that should not. And I feel like if you know the Albuquerque scene, there's no way you would have had us four try out.
And there was 4 or 5 that didn't have to try out. So why didn't they have to try out?
That's the other part.
And they were on there.
And they were there the first month.
Okay.
So
that changes things.
There you go.
Yeah, there was 4 or 5.
So let me say what I was going to say before I knew that.
Yes, so that's the other part.
Let's go back to 30 seconds ago when I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So my thing was like, again, protecting a brand,
Right.
protecting a business.
Right.
They know, especially Animal, right? He knows you're amazing. He knows you're good at what you do.
That's my boy.
Okay, great. But just to level it out, make it an even playing field for everybody. Everybody is going to send a headshot, bio, but I don't know what, and then if you have
whatever,
and
footage,
again, not to diminish your special, but like auxiliary things.
Yep.
Which is fucking pretty impressive, you know.
Right. Because Animal told me, he's like, bro, send him the fucking hour special.
So I understand that you're leveling things out, and because you and I have talked personally about the importance of professionalism, what professionalism is.
Right.
Like when I tell people I've had like mentoring things from you, that's one of the biggest things. Is like the professional side of comedy, whether you're doing a free show, a paid show, whatever. Okay. So my thing is they're leveling the playing field, and then they're also, and this is something that I picked up, not picked up, but confirmed after my talk with Sarah, was they are now showing these comedians who have only been in bars or breweries, here's how you submit a professional profile for a comedy club. You're going to have a professionally done headshot. You're going to have a professionally written bio.
EPK, if you have, well, that's what you should. If you don't have a website, have an EPK.
Which is?
That's an electronic professional kit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's basically where you have a link and you have headshots, footage,
like a link tree.
It's like a resume.
Yep. Okay. It's an electronic resume.
Digital resume. Okay. Yep. I've never heard that before. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Yep. So they're having everyone do that to put everyone on the same playing field, not because of skill level, but because the barrier to entry needs to be the same. And this is what I was thinking before you said what you said.
That's where my upset.
You would be 100% right.
That's where I'm upset.
If they did it that way for everybody,
the barrier to entry needs to be the same for. This is not pay to play. This is not good old boy system. Like even just a personal note, years ago before I joined the military, the commandant of the military school that I went to him and I was like, hey, I think about joining the National Guard for Mexico. The first thing out of his mouth was, watch out for the good old boy system, because the government does that and they take it right from the community. It's just because it's all people that grew up in New Mexico have the good old boy system, and it feeds into everywhere.
Right.
So it's like, it's everywhere, right? And that's what my brain goes to. So it shouldn't be that way, because again, you are protecting a business, you're protecting a brand, not just in making money, but you're doing it in word of mouth. Because again, the good old boy system is foundation on word of mouth.
Right.
Okay. Now let's enter our new piece of information that I did not know. Yeah. There were individuals.
We didn't talk about that night.
I don't remember y'all talking about that.
Yeah, but that's so. This is where my first level of
we mentioned it.
This is my first level of anger came into play.
So there are people that got. Okay, so there's
people that have been in the club multiple times that didn't have to try out. So back to the favoritism. So why is it? So you can understand why he was upset, why other people are upset. Like, why do we have to go through this and you don't? It don't matter if it's a buddy system, it's a homie system. If that's the case, he has one of the main buddies. Why did he get the buddy treatment?
Right.
What the fuck? I don't have an answer.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But
my brain is trying to.
So now everything you said, but you were 100% right. Now, if it was the other way around, where everybody tried out, and then he was upset about it, or anybody, then you'd be like, okay, now you're just a little off track.
I got upset later at the end of the month. I want to say end of December, the beginning of January. I was like, what the fuck? Because then I was noticing, hey, this person they got a feature a whole weekend. They wasn't even there the first weekend.
And I'm trying to. You know what's okay? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there have been performances at Quezadas that when they advertise, they don't put who's featuring and opening. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's why? Because the local scenes be like, hey, they didn't fucking try out.
I don't know.
Do you think it could be a reason?
I mean,
I don't know.
Because my whole thing is like, I get it. Advertise, for instance, I went a couple weekends ago to see Ali Makovsky. Right. Okay. She had a girl with her as a feature they've been traveling with, I guess, right? Another LA comic.
Yeah.
Okay. But the opener, or the opener / host,
Yeah.
local girl, no idea who the fuck I've never even heard of her or seen her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Guarantee she wasn't at the.
I know for a fact she wasn't on that list. Is I don't know her name today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the first thing that made my ears perk up was I saw a couple of people that didn't try out that were there within that first month for a weekend, right? Either they were an opener or they were a feature. Then January comes around. I saw somebody there who didn't try out and they were hosting. Then I told Sixx, I didn't tell Sixx. I told Larry. I said, man, I'm gonna say something if someone does it multiple times. Now, mind you, I hadn't got contacted at all.
It does what multiple times?
Performs.
Okay.
And then I saw 2 people perform December, January, and I was like, oh, fuck no. Then, okay, this is the final straw. Animal hits me up on IG. Hey, bro, this was in like February. Now January. Have they hit you up? I'm like, no. You would know that, I guess. I don't know. No.
Is he part of the team?
So then a week goes by, and he asked me again, did you get hit up? I said, no. Hold on, man. Let me talk to him. He's going to be calling you within an hour. Quezada's called me. I was busy. Then he texted me, hey, are you free March 22nd? Now I'm like, fuck no. Now I'm like, hold on now. Because if, like, now I feel like that is basically like shitting on.
It's like a sympathy call.
Yeah, I didn't earn it. So what I did that first night, which everybody will tell you, when I got off that stage, I went out there. There were people, and I don't like to talk like this. There were people taking my fucking picture. Didn't even know I lived in Albuquerque. Bro, where the fuck do you live here? Will you be performing here? We're coming back, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I went to Sixx. I said, Sixx, am I tripping, bro? Like,
and I didn't know none of this.
And that's when I said, why the fuck did I have to audition if all it took was a phone call, and then I get a phone call within the fucking hour and say, hey, are you free March 22nd? And this was in January. So I'm like, if I wasn't one of the first picks, hey, look, I'm like Shaquille O'Neal. I will create an issue to get myself motivated. So I created the issue in my head. Fuck that. If I wasn't one of the first picks, I'm no pick.
So everything.
And that's when I went to Sixx. I said, man, am I tripping? Am I having a big head about this shit, and tell them what you told me?
Oh no, like.
So after all of that,
you
see what I'm saying?
He told me, and I was like, man, fuck that. Like, you will not do that club, you will not take that date, like, and not because he's my boy and you know we do stuff. It's because his talent level. Yeah. Like if he sucked, I would let him know. Like we still boys,
yeah,
but bro, like
I would have been quit.
Like I wouldn't, I wouldn't be putting him on my big events in front of thousands of people.
Because your friendship.
That
does
has
not
nothing
pay your
to
bills.
do. No,
it doesn't pay your bills.
Exactly. I wouldn't have him host and run my stage if he couldn't handle it. I wouldn't have him do that. It has nothing to do with the friendship.
So Noah, that's the whole story. That's the whole story.
So because that last part I heard you say on your podcast.
Yeah.
And
so once I was like, so that's all I had to get vouched from.
Right.
A call needed to be made for me.
It's like you were doing a song and dance because they said do a song and dance.
Well, and then I'm like, if that's what it took, why wasn't that done at the beginning? Or why did I have to try out came from? That's where that came from.
Well, it shouldn't have been done at all.
Right.
That's at least for me.
And I can take, hey, your comedy that's not the cup of tea we have out here, which is fine.
That's fair.
That's something I can't be upset about.
Yeah. That is just them making decisions.
I'm upset.
Right.
Hey, give this dude a call, bro. I told you saw him.
Yes. Yeah.
No. No.
And not only that, it's January, and I'm gonna book you 3 months down when there's already people that's been on their 4th run over there. Come on.
Okay, so just to recap, the main 2 issues that I have with this is from the jump. there were people that got selected that didn't have to do the audition, the tryout, whatever you want to call it. That's the first issue.
Right.
The second issue is...
Look, bro, we doing a podcast. You got me drinking this English leather bullshit. I'll tell you, Zach did not perform. Zach didn't. He was in Austin. But Zach was there in December.
Has he done Quezada?
Zach was there, I think, the second or third week. Zach deserves to be there. He's one that shouldn't have to. Zach should not have to do it.
I disagree.
But I'm just saying. I'm talking about. I say there's 4 people here that shouldn't have to.
We know who that is.
That are club ready.
It's you, Steph, Josh, Zach,
and it's a combination of not just having the between me and Zach. We also will bring people.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
You have pool.
So you got to be a draw. That's what I'm saying. So Zach did it, and then I saw AJ hosted in January. He didn't try out, none of that. And so those were the first ones. Anthony A, he doesn't live here. He had a feature. And so I was like, okay. Huh.
Well, okay, so let's table Anthony A, because I have my questions about him for sure.
Okay.
But fuck, that's so shitty. With the way they
you see the whole story.
Because the way they set this up, I love Zach.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to call him a friend. I love that guy. But he should have had to try out just like everybody else because you're leveling the playing field. You know what I mean?
So that's where you're saying I shouldn't have had to try out.
Yes.
I say it because the whole totality of everything.
Yes. Well, because when you add again, because that was my mindset before I knew there were people performing who didn't have to try out. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my criticism of it. But yeah, they shouldn't have done that way from the first place. Mm-hmm. Right. And then the second part of it was that the second criticism that I have is that you only got offered a host or a feature because you had to call. You're using a vouch system anyway. And again, it's not knocking that. Right. Because that's how comedy works.
That runs deep in comedy.
That's how comedy works. It's hey, listen, man. Because again, I'm
putting my name on the line for this person.
Exactly. This is what I think is a fun juxtaposition between comedy and music. Because with music, you can't say, hey, this other band's really good. Give them like a 15-minute opening because you have to bring all the instruments and the sounds. No, say, hey, listen, my buddy, he's not a feature act yet, but he's got a fucking killer 8 minutes. Give him an opening spot really quick. Let him rock. He's gonna do well. That is just ingrained in the comedy culture, right? And everyone says that from local guys to people like fucking Joe Rogan. That is at every level of comedy, right? That's my issue with this as you presented it.
Right. And that's what happened.
Is that it was based on, it started with favoritism in mind, and then it ended with the vouch system being used anyway.
Right.
So then as a performer, so you went up there, you did your thing. You fucking submitted all your professional stuff. Mm-hmm. You submitted all your personal or your professional profiles. You went up there, you gave the best 5 minutes you had. You performed, you fucking slaughtered along with everybody else. And then it's like that didn't matter anyway. We're gonna go off of a vouching system. We're gonna go off if you're gonna do that, because like look, you can disagree with that method any way that you want, whatever. But if you're gonna do that, start it that way.
Right.
Don't lie to people. Don't lie saying, hey, send us all your personal or all your professional stuff and we're going to do this and you have a fair shot.
Well, it's a waste of my time.
It's, yes.
So December 29th is when I got, have you gotten a date from Q's yet? No, I haven't. January the 7th. Have you? No. And then within the hour, I got a call and then the text.
So I'm gonna ask one more question about this.
Yeah.
And and I have my answer to it already, but this is, I feel like, a natural question. This is more of a fucking audience thing. So I get it. I get why you're upset. However, because of let's call it a drought of opportunity that we have in Albuquerque, and you're doing your own shit. Let's not discredit that. Yeah. Right? But I'm gonna play a really bad devil's advocate here.
I want to hear it.
So, you guys are doing your own shit. Like, we have outlined that, and you do quite well. The fucking special taping, it's sold out, didn't it?
Yeah, you were there.
Did your night at Rebels?
You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
And that was on a Wednesday.
It was on a Wednesday. It was a weekday special taping. Yeah. The special itself was more or less an hour. I think it was like an hour and 2 minutes.
The after it was edited,
yeah, hour and 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that, and that's with credits. The actual taping itself was like hour 20 because you had some crowd work in there and you had some extra stuff. Like I noticed that. Okay. Oh my god. So you are doing your own shit. Was there not any part of your brain that was like, I disagree with the way they are running this. However, this is an established comedy club in my city. This could potentially give me opportunities. I'm going to put my personal beef aside and just do it anyway.
Let me say it first.
No.
Let me say it first.
I will give him opportunities that club could never do. I could give people out here opportunities that club will never get you because they're not focused. The problem is that if you're opening and even featuring, they're not doing nothing to try to promote you and make you bigger. They have you there as a body. They have you there to perform.
I never even thought about that.
The way you get on a platform to be noticed is I take you out of town. I put you in front of an El Paso audience with 3,000 people. Ask Josh Fournier. Ask him.
Yeah.
I take you to Phoenix, or he gets a job. You have to get someone behind you. If you see our flyers, if we promote it with any artist, we highlight our comedians, our locals, as if they're
part
huge.
of the show.
They get paid. They get paid better than with us than they have anywhere. Whether they bomb, whether they do 5 minutes or 55 minutes, they get paid. Yep. They get travel if we have it, depending on where you're at. But promoters like me are the ones. These comedy clubs don't care about the local scene.
Okay, so
hold on. Let me answer that.
The comedy club don't care because they have no interest in the local scene. So they need bodies, and it makes them look good.
So let me push back on that, right? So Stephen Quezada, he went on Johnny James's podcast, and this is from his mouth. You can go watch it.
I saw him on there, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, so I watched. It's like an hour or so. Yeah. I watched the full thing, and this is from his mouth. He said that when he was setting up the club with the casino, that one of the things that had to be in the contract for every show is that there has to be a local opener or feature on the show so that they can promote local comedy. And to me, when I hear that, that sounds like a someone who runs a comedy club that does care about the local
Hold on.
That's a gimmick.
Hold on.
I'm just pushing back.
I'm telling you right now, that's a gimmick. Because if he cared, he would be more involved and been in the scene and know who's good, who's bad. You ask him right now, you give him all these pictures, he won't know who one comic is, I guaranteed, or he'll get them mixed up. He's not there for that. He's there to make it look good, and they say we need local because they need the local support. If they don't have the local on there, they don't have the local support. And they're hoping they bring it in, but at the end of the day, their business, and it's nothing against them, but his business ain't there to blow up a local comedian.
That's true.
That's not his business.
That's why when you see the online, advertisement,
they don't have the locals. The locals promote their own picture on there.
Yourself.
Like Jake,
and that's the greatest shit Jake can ever do.
Think about it. You're right. But you see the headliner.
Yeah.
You just see a picture of them. They don't put the local people on there.
Yeah, exactly.
But to answer your question, it's not a personal beef. I don't have a beef at all.
Okay.
To me, it's principle, right?
That's what I figured.
It's principle. Like, if I've been to that, what else will I been to? Do you really believe in yourself?
Yeah.
I feel like this. This is how I measured it, right? Will this make or break you? Will this negate from what you've done or what you want to do? Because I looked at it like this. Just okay, in April, I got booked. I'm in Glendale. I'm at Stand Up Live. I'm at Stir Crazy, 4th, 5th, and 6th, right? And people ask me, how did you get there? Man, I started out in a fucking bar. It's called Toso's in Phoenix. I didn't know the guy who had me come out there was actually booking for Stand Up Live. He saw me. You went.
It was a dive bar.
Yes.
Definitely a dive
and what did he tell me after? You will never come here and perform at a bar again. You're going to the club. Headline. I've been in the only club I haven't been in Phoenix is Stir Crazy, but I'm going to go there on the 4th.
We've got that, yeah.
So I'm looking at it like I took it as a slight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. If I get this in my own city, that's fine. Cool. I'm going to show them. So it wasn't me. It's not a personal beef. But what I do, I use shit like that to motivate me. I look at it as like, oh, they don't think you're good enough. Boom. Fuck it. I'm going to do an hour special. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's how I operate. And as far as me, and I'm going to say this, and we've talked about it, as far as me doing Quezadas, you know how I'll do Quezadas? And I know I'll never do it because this is what I want to do. I want to headline it.
And you could too.
I want to headline it.
That's the issue, is that you could. It's not an issue, but like that's the thing, is you could headline that club
and not just be funny, but also it will bring people.
Yeah.
Like my second part of being in comedy was, okay, I know I'm funny, but I need to be a draw. I go to Phoenix. The man tells me, man, you bring more people to these clubs than people who fucking live here. So that's what I'm trying to do. And it's not, I don't have any personal beef. Let me get that straight. I don't have a beef with Quezadas. It's my personal choice. It's my professional choice. And another part of that whole story, there was 2 parts. It was that part I told you, and I never got my fucking footage. I never got that footage.
I was waiting for that.
And that's that really pisses me off.
It should.
More than anything. Because I drove way the fuck out there. I got dressed. I came professional. Steven told me, thank you for, I was the only one. Thank you. Thank you for coming, and you have a suit coat on. You got a tie on. And I asked, where's my footage? Nothing. We didn't get footage. I had to talk to Josh Fournier. Josh Fournier's been out there a few times. I was like, bro, did you get footage? And he was like, nah, they told me it wasn't that good. I was like, why the fuck ain't nobody told me that? So that would have been invaluable.
Wait. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. It wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good. Something was wrong with the audio.
Get the fuck
out
of here.
He said, I don't know if this is true. Josh told me some people got it, and it wasn't that great, so nobody else got it. Tell me that. That's a part of professionalism as well.
But even at that,
because I was told, okay, so what if I don't be professional and I don't send the email of my bio, my headshot, you don't get considered.
Right.
So the whole premise was you're trying out. Actually, we were guinea pigs to see if the system worked. That's what happened.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what happened, bro. Because it was
a trial run for everything.
It was, remember, the club opened Friday. This was a Tuesday. I was like, how the fuck they get all these people? Because there was 2 sold out shows, 200 people a piece.
But they were the workers, right?
They were the workers, and they got vouchers. And Steven told me this. And so I was like, okay. But then it dawned on me when I went home, fuck, we were the guinea pigs to make sure that the card readers work, to make sure the money machines work, the servers can get the drinks out, see if you can get the crowd in and out. That's what happened.
Which inherently,
right,
to be completely honest,
which is genius.
Yeah, which inherently isn't a bad thing.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
But then you tack everything else on top of it.
But my thing is,
sours the pot.
What I came to do, I didn't get because I was told, you're going to do 5 minutes, and I know you're going to get your footage.
That's the big thing.
That's
like we've already outlined.
Bro,
that's the...
If I would have got my footage, and I was cooking, I cooked. And I was like, to have that behind you is invaluable. That's something you put in your EPK. That's something you put on your website. That's something that you use to get booked.
And they said the audio was shitty. Shouldn't you be, to a certain extent, shouldn't you be the judge of that?
Yeah, man, please give me the tape.
I got Larry.
Yeah. We could, but that's the thing. Like, if some
Larry could bring it to life, goddamn. But so those were my grievances.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm telling, and when I say this, and I said it that night, I'm not shitting on Jake, anybody else who does it.
Of course not.
Isabel, anybody that I've seen out there, Trip, Stelnicki, those people, go look them up.
They deserve it.
They are fucking phenomenal. But my personal, I felt slighted, and I felt like I'm not going to do it just because you made a phone call. Because if that's all that was needed, why the fuck a phone call wasn't made before?
Why do you think how do I put this? Why do you think it happened that way? Like, why do you think
bro,
things played out like this?
Because I'm me, bro. People don't like this. People don't like this. This is shit that people inbox or say behind closed doors because they feel like I don't want to fuck up an opportunity. You know how I feel? This ain't my only opportunity. I'll make a fucking opportunity. I put shit out. I put videos, fucking clips. I make funny statuses because I know everybody's watching. I got booked at Stir Crazy on for the Final Four weekend. You know how? Not just because the dude's worked with me before, because he said, damn, bro, I saw your fucking special. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, and what do you have?
Right. No,
So
I agree.
and me and Sixx talked. Sixx told me, he looked me dead in my eye. What the fuck is that going to do for your career? What do you really want? What do you really want to do? Is this like a little stepping stone in your shit, or is it like, oh my God, I'm not gonna do Quezadas?
Oh no, I don't mean.
No, but I'm just saying that's the conversation we had.
No, I definitely don't want to paint anything as the end all be all.
No. But to you, when you're like, well, this is an opportunity. There's plenty of opportunities. There's plenty.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying maybe I will go out there, but until I feel that is rectified, I'm not fucking with it. Cause that whole thing, that's wrong, bro. That's wrong. That's wrong.
I agree. No,
you don't do someone who's been doing this a year. You don't do them like that.
You have legitimate grievances.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's
right.
In your guys' episode, y'all talked about like how there was no footage given.
That was that still bugs me.
Yeah,
bro.
you talked about that, and that's a real thing. Like that is 100% understandable.
Because if not, I could have had Larry come out there and do it.
Yeah, for real.
We were told you will get your footage of your set because you could use that to shop it around and be booked.
Right.
We were told this.
But I think the bigger thing is that there were people already accepted. They lied to you guys. They lied about their barrier to entry.
I don't know if it was you guys, but I felt lied to. And that's the thing. I don't want to put this on nobody else. Yeah. This is my personal thing. And for you, when you say, why do you think it was me? Because you got to look at who I am, bro. Like, I talk. I don't care. I'm about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm also about the scene as well. That's what people get upset about me because like, oh, you shit on the scene. No, you don't pay attention to the positive shit I say about the scene. Well, you just highlight that stuff.
It's easy to amplify criticism and it's easy to twist and turn. That's what our entire media apparatus is based around, is getting clickbaity bullshit that makes people angry. But, and I've said this multiple fucking times on the pod, I support local, but I love supporting local. It's more important to support good local.
Yeah, and it's shit like that's been happening here, like people not getting booked and to see it on that level, I'm like, I thought we were past this shit.
I thought we were too. I think we could be.
Yeah,
we should be.
Yeah,
because again, if we're bringing legitimate,
we got enough talent.
Yeah, we have enough talent. And B, if we're bringing enough genuine opportunity to Albuquerque, why from the jump are we? I'm not saying they shit the bed completely, but I wouldn't
say that.
But they're starting from a.
But they shouldn't have done it to me because I'm gonna talk.
My whole thing is they're starting
favoritism.
Right, exactly, and they're starting.
I'm gonna talk about shit.
They're starting from a foundation of deceit. Yeah. Right. They're starting from a very.
It just put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but I'll say this: people will take this the wrong way with me and Sixx. Buck and Sixx are saying don't fuck with. No, I didn't say that.
Not at all. Not at all.
I said I'm not.
Yeah. Because of how you were treated.
Until that is addressed, and I'm not bringing it to nobody, because nobody brought nothing to me, I can make that decision and say, I'm not fucking with it.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
And that's my prerogative.
And again, and I do not want this to get misconstrued or twisted into saying that, like, I'm very happy for Jake. Right, I'm going to see Annie Letterman here in a couple weeks. A. Marie's on that show. I'm fucking excited as shit for her. Right,
and I've talked to A. Marie. We've had this. A. Marie was one of the people who was like, so I get a lot of texts. A lot of people don't like to let people know they text me and that shit. Why the fuck you ain't out there yet, bro?
Yeah,
I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't. We were there. You killed it. I don't know. And then so when that ass end of it happened, that's when I went to Sixx. I was like, bro, am I tripping? Like, because I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
until I talked to Sixx, and he was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, if that was on the up and up, why did that back end happen? And that's where I came. That's where I said, why the fuck did I even have to try out there?
And to me, as someone that watches career progress and where he's going and where we're going to take him, that would hurt him.
In what
that
way?
will hurt him.
In
For the fact that people going to be like, you're on it now, this late, when all these other people are on. Like, as an artist, as a comedian, whatever, you have to be a little cocky. You have to have that chip on your shoulder. If you ain't got it, if you ain't got it, then what's the point? If you don't think you're better than the next, then you're never going to be better than the next.
You know what's another thing?
You know what I mean? So, like, me, as I've managed artists my whole career, big artists in the business game, and I will not let them. There's shows that I don't let them do because it's going to hurt your career or you don't need it. It's going to make you look bad. So, you know what I mean? Like, so it's for me, I seen it like he was going to do it. I'm like, bro, you don't need it. It's not going to help your career, first of all. It's not going to get you anywhere. And then it could hurt you more than anything.
And also, you're going to accept the bullshit.
And then guess what guess what the whole scene's going to say? Oh, Buck's on there now, but he went after, I went on there 5 times already. Woo, woo. That's the shit that will happen.
It's a best foot forward.
You know what I mean?
Like,
that's the shit that's going to happen. It would hurt him way more than it would help him in any aspect.
Well, and the one thing that I've learned from, like, one of the comedians that I've been a fan of before I even started, Earthquake. I listen to Earthquake on Sirius XM. He has a show. And he says some shit that I never thought of. And I was telling Sixx this. He says, everybody is so eager to leave their hometown and go to Austin and go to LA and go to New York. But guess what happens when you go to those cities? You're a fucking nobody. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to look you up to where you're from. And they're going to say, you are a nobody here. How the fuck you going to make it here? So he says the best course of action is to be the man or the woman where you're at. Then you branch out. So that's stuck in my head. And I always, everybody, you know, I get Black Mike tell me, Steph's like, you the one, bro. I'm like, nah, I want to make sure I'm the motherfucker here. And then we could, and I love going out of town, but I love doing shit here too.
And that's where it comes, because when you go out of town, they can look you up and
that's exactly what happens.
See, oh, he is the man out there.
That's exactly what
happened. So we
happened.
understand why you're trying to branch out. Let's give him a shot.
Everything that I've gotten out of town, that's happened.
So
bro, we looked you up. God damn, like that.
Just to add some personal context to that, I had that same exact conversation with Zach and Beta, both on and off the podcast, because that I'll admit that was something that was in my head. I was like, I've grown up in Albuquerque, but like I want to get out of Albuquerque before I'm 30.
Right.
Like that's just, I've lived here my whole life.
Right.
I want to fucking,
I can understand that.
You know what I mean? But now that like the podcast is a thing in my life, I've started to do stand up and I'm really loving it.
Yeah.
I had it in my head that like, 25 might be the year. 2025, I might fucking split. And then I brought that up to Zach. He had some opinions on it on the podcast, and we talked about it a little bit afterwards. And the long story short of it, he was like, exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I was going to leave here in a couple months.
We had that talk. Me and Zach had that talk.
But I extended my lease. I want to see what happens. And he was like, dude, it is in your, if you want to keep doing this, whether it's the podcast, stand up, both, it is in your best interest to build in Albuquerque.
Yes.
And then whenever you're able to, go to Denver.
Yeah.
Go to Austin.
Because
go to Phoenix and transplant yourself, but then come back to home base.
Not saying not as a bad thing. It's easy to build here.
It is. No, take advantage.
Easy,
no,
bro.
take advantage.
Like, man, get your licks in.
Yeah.
Get the chops in, and and that's where I feel. That's why a lot of people be like, "Oh, Buck be talking about the best of the city." That's why I get mad at shit like that.
Yeah.
That's why, even though we know the merit is this, that, the other, when you're not from here, like the tourists pick up Albuquerque, the magazine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I had the issue with that shit before Zach, an actual somebody who's really doing the shit, is representing the scene.
Yeah.
So, and there's a method to the madness, but a lot of people just hear me voicing it and they don't like it.
Well, you speak the truth though.
But a lot of people do. They just don't. They don't have the fucking backbone to say it.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's become increasingly obvious that, like, so for instance, right, this past Monday night, I went to a mic that I texted you about, right? I went to a mic, and I got doing a podcast a little bit late, so I showed up to the mic a little bit late, and I was the last person to go up.
and not the last person to go up, as in there was 8 comedians. There were, including me, 18 people.
Oh god damn!
On the open mic.
Fuck.
Right there now, as to put into
I'd have left, bro.
yeah, and then just to put into context, my first open mic. Well, my first open mic was at Inside Out.
Yeah.
But open mic where I started doing this on a regular basis, there were in that first 2 to 3 weeks that I was going pretty frequently, there was maybe 10 people. A few short months later, fucking. If you don't get to an open mic on time, you are not going to. The only reason I was, and I'm not ashamed to say this, the only reason that I was able to show up and sign up as late as I did is because fucking Jake Bourmorris.
Somebody put you down?
Yeah. Jake Bourmorris and me and him have become acquaintances and friends. And he was like, yeah, I'll throw you one. You get the last
Jake's
spot.
a good dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck it. You can do it. So I was like, thank you. And I was very thankful for that. Because otherwise, because I think that mic didn't close out till 10.
Wow.
What time did it start?
8?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the whole show.
You were no because I went because I promised my friends I promised to do a mic real quick and then I'm gonna go.
He was mad as fuck. Wasn't he?
Yeah, because I'm doing
bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the plan was I'm doing mic real quick and then I'm gonna go hit the gym and then we're gonna play some fucking Hell Divers and then we didn't hop on a game till 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is that playtime's fucking over.
It is.
And it's becoming increasingly obvious that we not in the next year, but I think in 3 to 4 years from now, Albuquerque will no longer be a flyover state or a flyover city.
Yeah, you could see the progression.
It's happening, and I feel lucky personally.
Yeah,
I feel very lucky that I started this podcast when I did, and it's like the door was slamming shut, and my pinky toe got stubbed in it. I was like, okay, now I can meet the people that have been doing it for a while.
See, you get all the people that'll never come on our shit, bro.
Like who?
Shit, you were on the news. I was like, damn, this motherfucker on the morning. Yeah. Hell, you on Good Morning America and shit, bro. Today's show. I was like,
never
what?
Let us on the
we was like, damn, bro, do we have to water our shit down? Like, nah, fuck it. We don't let him have that.
Only way we'll be on the news is some criminal shit.
No, we've had a couple of our guests on the news. Yes. Remember the chick the side chick who killed her husband?
Yes, I remember that.
That was banging the dude in the copy machine. Yeah.
No, some real shit. Again, just very New Mexico connection.
But see, that right there just shows there's a lane for everybody.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be looked at as competition, and that goes for comedy, podcasts, any of this shit. Promoters, there is a lane for everybody. Just do it to the best of your ability.
A high tide raises all ships. Yeah, I'm going, and sometimes I choose to believe that. Yeah. But I really believe that mindset, and that's the thing too. Amongst the top performers in comedy here in Albuquerque, and I'm sure you can agree with this, amongst the top performers of comedy here in Albuquerque, one of the common denominators is they want to help other people.
Mm-hmm. And that's the key, bro. If you're in that position, you want to give help. It's just like me too. I try to offer all these young promoters coming up advice. They think I'm hating. They think that, he just don't want. No.
You be like, hey, you don't want to put your money into that,
I'm trying to save you the heartache that I went through that no one taught me. Now, you might not like what I tell you, but it's because it's the raw truth. You're doing this wrong. This is what you should do. Just my opinion, bro. Been there, done that. If you don't want to go down and you don't want to be stumbling around, this is what you do. Oh, yeah, whatever.
Because you're seeing them make the same mistakes you did.
Yes. Yeah. And I see them make it over and over again because they think they know it all. They think they're about it. Bro, 17 years. This is actually 18 years this year. It just wasn't handed to me. I worked. I sacrificed a marriage. I sacrificed
lost your ass
time
on
with
everything.
kids.
Yeah.
Lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in big shows before. Just so much.
Sixx is better than me, bro.
No one gave me the key, bro.
He's better than me because I'm big on giving people their props and flowers while they're still able to smell them. Sixx never gets that, bro. He never gets that. And I like, bro, that don't piss you off. And he'd be like, no, I'm good.
Because you know why?
I'm be like, fuck that, bro.
Because for me, my resume speaks everything. Yeah. People could Google me.
Yeah.
They could Google DJ Sixx.
Yeah.
What's the first thing going to pop up? All the artists I fucked with. All those people that I've been with in the music game that are platinum selling artists. Yeah, they might be from the 90s, bro, but they're still relevant. Sixx here, promotion company, everything. You could Google me and find a history of 18 years of solid business. I've never fucked people, don't owe people money, did everything on my own.
Being on the outside, just looking in at the relationships and business relationships, friendships that he has with people that I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and they'd be like, yo, remember we were on the road? And I was like, what? Y'all was, and those, just learning that about Sixx and knowing like the good business deals that he's done and then helping people just be better men. Like, that's why me and him are so close. He's helped me be a better comedian, professional, father, man. And if you can't do those four, for me as a friend, I can't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people, they be like, you and Sixx? I'm like, y'all don't know what the fuck we talk about. Like, we get really deep. We're
our own therapists with each other.
Yeah,
no, seriously. I mean,
I got a real therapist too, so I'm still trying to get him on that shit. I'm still trying to get him, y'all. He got Medicaid, man. Do shit.
So we do a lot.
You don't have to pay for it. I'm telling you. But you know, he's machismo Mexican. I don't need
that. But that's the thing. Like, if you ain't trying to better the people around you, and like, I feel a few years I want to be done. I'm tired. Like it's a rough business. I'm on the road 24. People don't see.
That's why we don't be having podcasts sometimes. Yeah.
In a week. There's a lot of times I'm missing because I'm out. I go and do 1,000 miles in 3 days because I got to line up shit. I go here, I do here. I'm networking, do whatever I can do. And I want to see the scene flourish. I want to see Albuquerque, New Mexico have good things. That's why I get pissed when promoters do shady shit and shows don't happen or they're shitty quality. I take it because I'm like, I work so hard, and then what they don't understand is it affects me. If people put on shitty shows, it makes my next show even more hard to get because people are like, we don't want to go out. We don't want to do this.
See?
Now, it took the time for me to build where I'm at, where people know our shows are quality, shit happens. And you never know. Like the last Jokes and Jams, we had Shy. The guy had a heart attack, the lead singer. And they were like, we could still go out. And I'm like, no, bro, like he's the main dude. Like all the backup singers ain't going to fly. What did I do? People showed up. I went to every VIP table that paid money and bought them 2 drinks apiece out of my own pocket. I sat down and shook their hands and told them personally, this is what happened. You want money back? If not, I'm going to buy you 2 drinks. I'm going to take care of you guys. And people had no problem. Oh, no, that was great. I didn't have to do that. Promoters don't do that. I came out about my tab was about $2,200.
It was.
That I paid just to make sure.
That was in the back of Rebel, the big part of Rebel.
I wanted these people to make sure they felt comfortable with what they did. Guess what? Everybody was fucking like more. No one's, oh no, man, we're here to support you. You guys put good shows on. Shit happens in this business. Artists don't show up. They get sick. It's human nature. Like that's what happens. But as a promoter, that's where you do. What do you do to ease the pain? What do you do? Yeah. Yes, to go, because I built a brand, and the fucked up thing. As 18 years of building a brand, one bad show, one bad fuck up could take that 18 years and just fuck you. That's what sucks about this business.
So that was the question you had. Like, how do you sell out a show in New Mexico? What was that? One of your questions?
That was one of the topics, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it comes with just having consistency of good shows.
It takes
and
a while,
quality entertainment. It just doesn't happen over fucking night, bro. Like it really don't. And not that the shows have just been popping lately for us. I've had shows for years and years, but I think what really hit is the smaller venues and the shows. We're bringing in 200 people, 300 people, and not have to bring in headliners. Doing it with Rob, doing it with local comedians, doing it with regional acts that are no big, and do stuff like that. And people are like, wow, bro, we could come in and you guys are killing it. This and from the scene, they think, oh man, you guys just, it just happened overnight. How do you know it didn't happen overnight? There was times we were doing shows where there was 10 people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But every show, I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I win. If I lose on a show and there's 10 people, my camera angle makes it look like the best and we're having a good time. I don't show weakness. I don't say, you see these promoters will get on and cry, oh, we lost $4,000 and this town sucks and no one supports me, boo-hoo. Pull up your fucking pants, bitch. Like, this is what this business is. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't tough enough to be in this business, then get the fuck out the business. And you make every show you want to make everybody feel like every show is amazing, and even the people that are there, those 10 people, you give those 10 people the show of their lifetime, because guess what? The next time those 10 people are going to show up and bring 2 more friends apiece. Now you have 40, 50 people just from them. So like that's the key. Instead of feeling pity party for yourself, like no, make that shit. Suck it up. Let's do better next time.
I think from a performer side, it can be a comedy show, it could be a music show, our gong show, any show where you've been and you're like, fuck, bro, y'all have a lot of people here. It's because they know if they come to something that's ours, they're gonna get their money's worth. That's the first thing. It's gonna be entertaining from the host to the last fucking thing. And it doesn't matter if someone bombs or whatever. Me and Sixx talk about this a lot. I used to be the worst. Fuck no, we're not booking this person, bro. They're trash. No, that's entertainment. He told me, and I was like, you know what?
That's
You fucking right. You're right.
But we're getting
because go ahead.
So like the Gong Show. Yeah,
That
we
thing's
get
big.
we get the trash and funny, but
that's
still
the part of
we're
the show.
giv-
That's a part of
That's
the
a
but
part
we're
of the
giving them
show.
an opportunity to shine, and who knows, maybe. And there's people that's gone 2 or 3 times on shows,
Still come back.
but come back because at one time they might get past it, and we give them opportunities. Opportunities not only they win a good cash prize, we put them on a platform in front of our big shows where they could get in front of 1,000+ people. Now, when in their life or career can they ever get that opportunity?
Shout out to Josh Fournier. Like when we did the where he won the Gong Show, our biggest jokes and jams to date, he was a part of that. And
I
he was
remember
like,
seeing that.
He was
he
like,
said,
wow.
bro, what the fuck? And that's what it's
How many
about,
people?
man.
How many people were there for that joke?
Oh, it was like close to 2,000.
Yeah.
on
I remember seeing the footage.
Yeah.
the background. Yeah,
Because I mean, we've talked about this,
Yeah.
and I'll be real. Like the jokes and jams, it's not really my thing. Like my piece of entertainment. It's not my thing.
Right.
But fuck, seeing that crowd that he was in front of, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
hearing the feedback from him, from you, from my friends that had gone to that, I was like, fuck, like that's
and that
that's
prepares
so
you, bro.
good.
That's a notch in your belt where you'll be prepared for anything.
and that makes or breaks us. Like we've had some comedians that go on there and clammed
man.
up.
Oh yeah.
that
Oh, I'm sure.
couldn't
It was too
handle
big.
it.
Oh,
the
I'm
stage
sure.
was too big.
Like
Because they're going from, like we said earlier, breweries and bars,
Yeah.
maybe dry heat,
to a 40 by 40 stage in front of 2,000 people, and everybody's just looking at you, and you have to be commanding on that stage.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
They make me laugh, bitch.
you could feel this big, and if you don't cap. So this is what I tell people, and this is very important for artists. Listen, like comedians and entertainers, rappers, whatever you do in your music thing. If you don't capture the crowd in the first minute you get on stage,
Shit, 30 seconds for a comedian.
you have no seriously. You don't. And I'm talking about from your intro to come in, how you walk in, how you look, how you come in. If you don't
Yep.
capture them and keep them entertained, you're done. That 10, 15 minutes are going to be the hardest, most loneliest. You're going to feel like that.
I want to address something too. I just thought about this. There's a lot of people who say, "Well, it's easy for you, Bug. You got a lot of people who follow you. You got a lot of fans and people." Do y'all know how hard the fuck that is?
I was gonna say that.
Do you know the
yeah.
expectation that comes with that?
Yeah.
I get nervous.
he gotta
I
be
get
funny
nervous.
every time.
I better. You know how much shit that I've talked?
He got to back that shit up every time.
Do you know how many people
pressure.
are waiting for me to fucking bomb in front of 2,000 people? They are pulling their camera. There's people that I know show up.
To just see it.
Fucking getting laughs. So don't come to me with that shit. I've heard it all. I've heard another misconception. People only come to see him because he's on the radio. I've only been on the radio. I've only been on Kiss a year. I was on the Sports Animal 2 years, and I was on The Hustle, which is a glorified podcast. You probably have more listeners than The Hustle, for about 1.5 years. Sixx will tell you, I had a following before that.
Yeah.
I built my shit social media. The first time I did comedy, me and him wasn't even that close. I did it at his club. How many people were there, bro?
Probably 700 people.
700. And we did a fucking roast battle. No, not a roast battle. A freestyle battle.
Yeah.
And me.
Like he did like 1.5 hours.
Bro.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about
stupid,
that.
dumb as fuck. Didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. So when people be like, oh, people just come out to see you. Do you know how much pressure the fuck that is, bro?
If anything, it's harder.
Especially in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That is pressure. And I love it because it keeps me sharp. It keeps me. That's why when I do dry heat and when I do bourbon and boots, and I'm not in the mood to fucking joke and laugh before a show. Yeah. People think, oh, you're an asshole. Like, no, I'm focused. I treat jokes and jams. I treat the fucking Comedy Store. I treat stand-up live. I treat all that shit the same way. I get it, like, there's some comedians that we kind of got into it because I did a show at Dry Heat, right? They're outside. They're laughing and joking before the show's even started.
Was this your big, like, the opening?
No, this was one. So I think it was the second one after that. They're outside. It's a joke. You know what? It was Caleb Moki's Sunday service.
Okay.
They're outside in front of the door. They're laughing and, oh, man, it's the funniest shit ever. I parked and I walk up and it was, oh, they trying to roast me and all that. I said, man, all this shit y'all doing right here, y'all better be fucking funny on stage. Fuck being funny outside. I said, be this on stage. And they're all looking at me. And when I go in that back room, Sarah will tell you, I don't like to fuck around. I don't. Like, cause it's serious, bro.
You operate on a high
serious.
level.
Yeah, you're getting paid. There's people who spent good money to come see you, right? And I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm talking about this is for me.
That's how. No, I gotta be real though.
Yeah,
that's how it should be though.
Yeah.
So first of all, what that reminds me of is like when you're in like middle school or you're in high school and you're fucking around with your friends for a final exam
or a football game
or a sporting event. And your coach, your teacher will say, "Hey, y'all got your shit together, right? Because you got time to fuck around.
Lock in.
So that means you have your shit together, right?
Yeah.
Right? We'll see. It's like that. And then, I mean, again, this is just my point of reference of this is the podcast that I listen to. But fucking Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Tony Hinchcliffe, all these high level performers in comedy, they all talk about that same exact thing. Yeah. When they're in the green room, they aren't there to fuck around. They're back there. No. Like, it's a fun hang if it's something like again, they talk about it a lot. If it's something like the Mothership, or if it's back in the day at the store or the Ice House. Yeah, they're fucking around because they know what they're doing. And it's a regular night. But then if they're on tour, they're going around, they're performing. They're like, I was listening to a podcast. It was with Rogan and Jeff Dye. And he was talking about it, and he was like, it was Rogan and Annie Letterman. It was an older one, and he was talking about it, and he was like, yeah, like, it's like when people bring in their friends to the green rooms, like, whoa, this
they don't play that shit.
It's like, whoa, this is work. Yeah. Like, we're working. This is a fun job, but we're working right now.
You got to focus, man. You got to be ready.
I mean, it's like I could see how that interaction comes off as dickish.
Yeah, I've been told
that. Then you think about it for longer than 3 seconds, and it's like, no, he's in the
right.
People
tell me when I'm not what I need to be up there.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Well,
I don't give a fuck what I am off this shit. Right in that space, you got to be on, and it's and that's why I say, well, people get the misconception of, oh, you're Buck, people will laugh regardless. Fuck no, you've been to my shows. People ain't laughing regardless because they say my name.
Yep,
they like, okay, we know you're funny. Let me see.
One of my favorite shows. I'm going to say this, and we'll take a quick break. One of my favorite shows that I've been to of yours, there were maybe, including the bar at Rebel, there were maybe 20 people. Oh,
shit. Yeah, I remember this one.
Maybe 20 people. It was you,
me, Zach,
and I forget, there was a third person. I forget who else it was.
Yeah.
But
nobody was there.
Nobody was there. But
was this like, one where did the headliner dude not show up, or
something?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, somebody didn't show up, and then so Zach had.
And it was Sixx. It was like, multiply this room by like 4, bro. That's what the whole
there was not a lot of people there, but then you and Zach, got, because it was a rough show.
Because we were like, who's gonna go last? And I said, I said, Zach, I want you to go last. Let me go, because I get tired of being last. I wanted to set the tone.
But I asked you, I was like, why aren't you headlining? Mm-hmm. And you're like, because this is Zach's crowd, and he's going to shine better here than I will. Yep. And there's that level of humility because you operate on that. You operate at a higher professional level when it comes to this shit. You were able to say, yeah, I know why. Because, look, Do I have the confidence in your ability to be able to headline that? Yes. To finish that out? Sure. But you recognize what the crowd was.
Yeah.
Like, hey, but this, I will do just fine.
Yeah,
However, Zach is going to give these 20 people a better experience, and credit where it's due, he did. That turned into like maybe 25, 30
I forgot
minutes.
he was there.
Yeah, 25, like 30 minutes of material, and then like another 20 minutes of improv, like crowd work. He brought some bodybuilder dude up on stage, and they had a rapper on stage.
The
like there's
rapper
one dude
brought
singing
him
to
up.
him while the other dude's doing his routine. Like it became this whole thing, but it was just operating at that level of professionalism is extremely fucking important. And again, it's like, you can call this guy a dick, you can call him whatever you want, but then when you see the product that he produces,
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of argument. What I will say, and I gotta pee real quick. This is why I fucking love doing this podcast. I gotta be like, as fun as this conversation is, I feel very lucky. I do. I feel very lucky that I'm getting this like first-hand education.
Yeah.
Because you get 17 years in what you're doing. You're what, 9 years into comedy?
Yeah.
Right? 9 years into comedy. And this is the third pod we've done together. I'm still learning shit.
Yeah. We are too.
I
am too. I know I'm still learning shit. Like,
This is what's awesome.
You can never stop learning, bro.
So let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to fucking explode. And we got one more topic to bring up.
Okay.
And then we'll close this bitch out.
All right, for sure.
All right.
we ate the
Yeah.
What's that? What's that in Vine? What was that?
A little
didn't have a name.
It's like a little
It's a
fucking.
food. I said a food hut.
It's a food hut, like it's a little building on the side of the road.
So I can't remember if it's in Vaughn or like or Encino, but there's a little diner that looks like a trailer.
That's it. No.
That's in Vaughn.
That's in Vaughn.
That's in Vaughn, right?
That's that
little,
silver.
Yeah. That place is okay.
Sixx Diner.
Yeah, but if you go next time you go to Roswell, if Evan's watching, he can attest to this. One of our best friends, because he went to military school with us down there.
Yeah.
Beijing Express. I've obviously been there pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, and they have not changed. Amazing fucking food, and they give you so much food that, like, order a side, so at least if you get it in the carry-out bag, that side can keep the main plate tray shut.
So it's that.
They give you so much fucking food.
So one plate would feed everybody here.
Yeah. Oh, what we would do, because we were nasty little fucking 14, 15-year-olds, we'd all get a plate, and that'd feed us for 2 days.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah.
Like a person, right? That one plate with. Am I wrong?
No.
Because he went to military school with me. So it's the leaning, on the weekends, it was the Leaning Tower pizza boxes, shit ton of Chinese food, and Mortal Kombat. That's what it was.
go.
Anyway, all right. So, I preloaded the link, or like the web page on Google. It's of David Lucas. So about a month ago now, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Don't play it yet. So David.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play it for Sixx because I don't think he's seen this.
Okay, great. Oh, good. Okay, so
I don't think
so
Sixx has seen
David
this.
Lucas. In some context, I'm not gonna spoil what he said, obviously, but some context to this is that there was a very rowdy.
That's when the lady left. All
yeah.
black people.
Yeah.
All the black people. Yeah.
Very rowdy group of hecklers. And what people need to know that are listening to this is that David Lucas, he is known as a roast comic. He is known as the type of like that was his whole that was his whole shtick on Kill Tony.
You know what's so funny? Before you say this, so I remember David Lucas used to be on All Def Digital.
Yep.
And he was on Roast Me. And the funny thing was, he was not the best. He was like one of the worst roasters on Roast Me.
He wasn't great yet.
He wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then he got on Kill Tony. And I think what happened, and this has nothing to do with this, but just my personal opinion, David Lucas found a crowd that wasn't used to that type of roasting. So you know how we do the roast battles with Evan Rons. Yeah. Well, there's a difference between that and what I grew up on, what we call roasting. So that's what they used to do on Off Death Digital.
So yes, but I think he was also mentored by Hinchcliffe.
And that's what happened.
Because he's a master,
Because now you could tell, but if you put him back in All Def Digital, he wouldn't be that great. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Because that's a whole different animal.
Like David Lucas now?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I'm telling you. So
I think I need to rewatch some of that older stuff.
Go back and so golly, I can't think of his name. Craig Smith. He's the dude on All Def Digital Roast Me. Go look up Craig Smith with a K, the man. And so Craig Smith in All Def Digital is what David Lucas is on Kill Tony.
Interesting.
So it's two different worlds.
Yeah, for sure.
So he went off and he's on a bigger platform, and that's what he does. He's a roast comedian.
So then leading up to this, there were some rowdy hecklers that he had went into for, I guess, a couple of minutes at least before this clip starts. And he says this joke. It sparked a lot of controversy. And then we'll get in. I'll be completely honest. I got about an hour and 10 minutes into the interview.
I cut it off too.
I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it.
So he sat down with Willie D. He sat down with Willie D from the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But so here's the thing that tried to get people, or try to get him canceled. Can you make sure the shit's turned up on the remote before you start it? Oh, yeah, we're good. All right, go ahead and play it.
And you wanted to show them the reason George Floyd got his neck nailed off. Don't ooh at that joke. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that nigga. That was making a look.
Bruh. So the crowd is on. They then turned on him now.
It's called comedy, nigga. How many more black fans I gotta hit that might leave? George Floyd. You ready to go? All right, baby. Okay. All right, you offended too, baby, with the braids? Hey, you offended too? Yeah. Man, stop. Y'all good? Or y'all about to...
The crowd and turned on his ass.
Yeah.
Some of them.
I like Kyle Rittenhouse too. I like Kyle Rittenhouse too.
Bro, it sound like he got Tourette's. Just saying whatever. Look at my boy right here. He didn't want to leave. His girl left. That's what happened with him.
All right, you can cut it right there. That's pretty much it. So, okay, I'm gonna give my opinion real quick because I feel like it's like the cool little quicker. So, in my opinion, if you are going to a comedy show, if you are, regardless of who you're seeing, if you're going to a comedy show, you have to understand or accept. You have to go under the acceptance that you are going to hear some things that you may or may not agree with and that may or may not offend you. If it doesn't make you laugh, okay, fine. That's your own taste. Fine. But you have to go in there knowing you're going to hear things that might offend you, and you have to also go in there understanding that this person is making fucking jokes. He is trying to make you laugh. He's not trying to offend you. He's not trying to, usually, right? Like 90% of the time, he's not out there to make, like, to show that he or she's a bigot, right? Not trying to show that, or I guess, like, the most extreme cases of this, I guess, because I've seen comments where people are calling him a race traitor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's not setting out to do that. He is the type of comic that is going to push the envelope more than most and try to, at the end of the day, trying to make you laugh. And because of his frame that we spoke about a little bit earlier,
Right.
he's under the understanding that most of the audience there knows who he is and knows what type of comedy he's doing. So he's going under the assumption that he can kind of push it a bit more because he assumes that the crowd knows what he's delivering. Okay. I think also, like, I don't know, like I think society and culture in general is kind of moving a little bit past the cancel culture slowly but surely. But like, I personally think he could have said way worse shit in general.
Oh, you can always say
you know what I mean?
worse.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even like it was. I can see why people would get offended. Like, if he's saying that on the side of the street and he's proclaiming that to people as fact, that's one thing. But if he's doing it under the guise of trying to make people laugh, trying to entertain, if you're going into a comedy show, especially somebody like David Lucas, and you're going in like, well, it better not offend me,
right,
and it better not piss me off,
okay,
that's your fucking fault.
Okay. Yeah. Hold up. So there's two responsibilities here.
Okay.
He's got a responsibility and the crowd has a responsibility. The crowd's responsibility is to know who the fuck you're paying money to go see. First.
Yep.
I'm not going anywhere and paying money for something that I don't want to see. Mm-hmm. I'm going to, if like, that's like a concert or anything. If I'm not a fan or if I don't know and I look it up and I'm like, I'm not paying for this shit, they got to take responsibility for that. Now, his responsibility as a comedian, you are able to say whatever you want to say as long as you get laughs. And that's our bottom line. Mm-hmm. But you also have to know there are consequences for what you say. If you can stand on it, none of this other shit matters.
Which he is.
And
yeah.
So he did, but he didn't because he already fucking apologized. Once you apologize, you don't stand on it. That's where I think he fucked up. So, I am not for, because I'm looking at it as a consumer and as a performer.
Right.
You've seen clips for whatever. There's two, ladies love me or ladies hate me. Sixx has been places. I've got jokes. I call women bitches. I'll look, bitch, I say it, and they'll laugh. Some don't. There's some women who fucking walked out. Hell, I got canceled off a whole fucking lake. But guess what?
Did I show you that where the cops rolled up?
But guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to apologize for what I've said during a performance. So as a performer, you got to own what you say. We're going to offend. We don't give a fuck if we offend. So can we tell George Floyd jokes? Yes, but be prepared for the backlash.
Right.
You have to be prepared for that. Either you're going to stand on it or you're going to fall.
Well, he apologized
to the family.
Yeah.
Why? The family wasn't there. Are we apologizing to JFK's family because we tell jokes about him get his head blown off?
Well, because didn't he say that the brother or some shit?
Yeah.
Reached out to him?
What happened was Steven Jackson, who used to be in the NBA, is his cousin, and all of them reached out.
Yeah.
But still, I don't care who reached out. I'm a performer.
Right. But that is the one thing I had an interesting in my own head, like a back and forth on, because he apologized to the family that reached out to him. It was like, hey, yeah, sorry that offended you. Like, I didn't mean to.
No.
But then he turns around and says, and this is what I wanted to
stand on my joke.
And this is what exactly. So I wanted your guys' opinion on this is he said that apology to the family, like the only people that be directly offended by that, right? And then he said to Willie D, he was like, but I'm not going to apologize for the joke itself,
right?
Because it was a joke. How do you digest that?
I mean, as a comedian or artist, if you start apologizing for your lyrics, what you're putting out, then what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Have you seen the Willie D interview?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
So,
did you watch that?
No.
Because Willie D in that interview apologized indirectly, but he apologized for his lyrics in the Ghetto Boys in that interview.
So this is what I'm saying.
But that's hindsight 2020.
Right, but
this shit's already out there.
Right, but it's folding for it anyway.
Yeah.
Just speaking to your point, he's folding
so
anyway.
If you got to apologize and people know it's entertainment, it's almost like back in the early rap era, NWA, the Two Live Crews. Yeah. They're saying some raunchy shit, killing this, but did they go do it? Are they doing this? This is their lyrics. You're a comedian. You have a premise. This is your style. People come to a comedy show. It's entertainment. If you're taking a person, like keep your ass at home because you don't know what's going to come out the comedian's mouth. Well, if you can't know it's a joke, obviously he don't mean like personally, like he's not. I mean. And for the family to call, or you said Steve, or what was his cousin?
Steve Jackson.
Yeah, Steve Jackson. Like, come on, bro. You can't tell me in NBA you've done some raunchy shit yourself.
Well,
like you know what I mean. He's not targeting you personally. It's comedy. It's what I mean. If everybody was, people get offended daily. You know what I mean? On joke, people get offended for what we say. We talk about retarded kids. We talk about crazy shit.
We do.
But it's comedy. It's funny. It's what people want to laugh. There's people that for every person that was mad, guess what? There was that many people that were laughing.
There's an audience. There's an audience for it. Either you got to identify if you're the audience for that or not.
And you can't.
It's easy to say that ain't for me. That's cool. But you can't say you can't joke about this because once you do that, where does it end?
Yeah, I agree.
See, you can't do that. You can't apologize for what you did because once you do, guess what? Now he can't go back and do. People be like, "Come on, bro."
Well, and this has been the conversation for the better part of 15 years, right? This has been the cancel culture conversation since like 2010, 2009. Like really, like I feel like cancel culture really started during the Obama administration. Not to link that to him, but just like just like years speaking. Around then is when it started. That's been the conversation.
To me, there's no such thing as cancel culture because once you have your group and your fans, they're gonna fuck with you.
I disagree.
How do you disagree?
Well, okay, so let's bring up something a little bit recent. Right now, obviously, he benefited from it in the back end, but when it was happening, it looked like it was going to be a real issue.
What's that?
Tony Hinchcliffe. Mm-hmm. When he made the joke about this is because he went on after Peng Dang, and which is some other.
I remember this.
Yeah, sellout.
We talked about this on the podcast. Sixx. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, so this is like
the Asian
3 years.
guy.
Yeah, it's like about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. He went on, and basically what happened was Peng Dang. He did his set at Vulcan in Austin, and he was like pandering to. No, he was making fun of white people, and the white people in the crowd were laughing at it. So then Tony Hinchcliffe was on stage after him, and again, like Peng Dang is
Sixx does it. Sixx says when you speak Mandarin, you say Peng Dang, bro.
and this is somebody who has toured with Hinchcliffe, right?
Yeah.
So Hinchcliffe goes up, and he's like. And he goes and he just like lays into the crowd. He's like, "Oh, you race traders, you selling out for this," and he just starts saying all like he says chink and he says like all these like derogatory terms for Asian and Oriental people, right? Okay. So then like that, and it was just a regular set, wasn't supposed to be filmed. He was just fucking around. He was being, because again, he's a roast comic.
Yeah.
He's he's an insult, quote unquote, insult comic.
Yeah.
So he was doing what he's comfortable doing, and what his crowd, and the crowd is, this is an important part of it too. The crowd was laughing their fucking ass off because he's doing the direct inverse to what the crowd just saw. That is a tactic, a tale as old as time, right? If you can make it work, you do it. Anyway, so like a week later or something, like maybe not even a week later, a bunch of bullshit happens and it gets on the internet. And the long story short is he gets dropped by his agency, his management. He gets kicked off of Joe Rogan's tour. Like it looks like for a good 5-7 days, it looks like he's going to lose his career. Now, thankfully, on the back end of it, he got picked up by a different agency that has now turned into the biggest agency for comedians anyway. Kill Tony is bigger than it has ever been. Yeah. He may have not have gotten Hans Kim as a little blanket, but whatever. But the point is that the reason I disagreed with you is for that little period of time. And that's why I'm saying we're pulling out of it, right? But in that period of time, there were still those people in these corporate positions that were like, "Oh, we can't associate ourselves with somebody who said these derogatory words."
Hold on. So what I still disagree with is, name me someone who got canceled and is up out of here. Because what happens is what you just said. You have that little period of people who wasn't there. You get a little clip online, people are outraged. But like you said, the people who laughed, those are the people. When those people stop fucking with you is when you're canceled.
So how do you...
That's why I say cancel culture is bullshit, because when you have a talent and you have a following, you have a cult following, you will always be cool. You're good.
So where do you think Louis C.K. is right now in terms of where he was prior to cancel?
Bro, he's actually better. Go look on his fucking website.
Oh, no, I'm saying popularity wise. No, his skill, like he's one of the greatest comics of all time. I'm not questioning that. What I'm just saying is like, as far as his reach, he's still.
So the people who are uneducated are the ones who try to cancel.
Right, because that's why
that's what I'm saying.
And that's why I asked, just because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
So I see him in the one light. I recognize that what he did was not good.
Right.
Same thing with Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing. What he did.
But guess what? He came here to fucking Albuquerque and sold the fuck out.
And sold out. Right.
So that's why I say cancel culture is.
I think you're canceled when your fans.
When your fans stop fuck. When those people don't fuck with you,
then that's when you're done.
When the outsiders and nobodies do it,
that never supported you anyways, or never paid.
Or superficial,
or they were using you to build themselves up. Just like what you said about Tony, because those businesses, they wasn't fucking with him. They was fucking with him because of what he could bring to them.
The money.
Yes. Nobody really gets canceled when you're talented. Even with David Lucas, nobody was. The people who didn't know who he was, who first saw him, and those were the people trying to cancel him. Yeah. The people who knew him or fucked with him, they're like, bro, that's what you do, bro.
Yeah, and that's also not even the worst shit he said on Kill Tony, even.
No.
Yeah.
But I with him, when you're a performer, you have a responsibility, right? You can say what you want to say, but you got to understand, can you weather what the backlash is going to be on that? And then as a consumer, you got to know who the fuck you going to see. I go to Dolores fucking Colorado. The very first time I go there. And I'm talking to these old ladies, and there's this old couple, right? And one guy, he's the husband. They've been married 60-something years. The lady couldn't hear. The husband was relaying my jokes to her, so she would laugh at a delay. I go and I was like, I'm asking them, I'm like, hey, how's y'all sex life? I'm like, I bet you take your teeth out. You still suck his dick, right? And everybody's laughing. He tells her in her ear, she laughs. There's a nurse. And we got footage of this. Remember the nurse lady? Yeah, why are you? That is so disrespectful. People, like, I know there was somebody going to be offended by that. But do I give a fuck? No, because in the grander scheme of things, I know it's going to be funny. That's what he knew. Did everybody get up? No. Majority of the crowd was what?
They sat right
laughing.
the fuck there. Yeah.
So, and also what people don't know, just to get a little deeper, that's his home club. The Funny Bone is in Tampa. Yeah. That's where he, so who cares if people walk out? Like,
right.
Do you think people didn't walk out of Richard Pryor shit? People didn't walk out of fucking Eddie Murphy shit or the greats? Like, unless you're offending, you're not doing this shit right. The problem with it now is we got cameras everywhere and you get little snippets like that and people get up in arms. And
or they edit to what you want to see.
And that was the thing, too, is even because I was looking for, because, again, am I surprised? Not really. But, like, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago when this happened, there's a longer version of that on the internet. You can't find it now. Yeah. That is the only one that I could find.
They want to find the most devastating one.
Yeah.
And you can tell how edited that is anyway. And even then, we were laughing watching it.
Now, ask me, would I do a George Floyd joke? No. That is not in my DNA. But would I tell somebody else not to do one? No, but it better be fucking funny, and you better know who you're doing it in front of.
So
that's the responsibility as an entertainer.
Why do you feel it's not in your DNA to do a joke?
Because it's the same way it's not in my DNA to do a joke about country music. Because I don't know nothing about that. There's two reasons why you don't do a joke. It's too close or it's too far away. That's why you don't do it.
Do you feel
now, understanding it now, I do jokes about my mom who thinks my birthday is not my birthday. My mom was a crackhead. I tell those jokes. And people be like, isn't that too close? Not really. I'm detached from that. So the jokes you don't tell are the ones that are too close or the ones that are too far because you don't know enough about it. Like, I got offended one time. The last time I got offended by a joke was when I think it was Ari
Shaffir.
Shaffir did a joke about Kobe Bryant the day that he got killed.
Oh yeah, that got a lot of people. Can you find that tweet? Literally just look up Ari Shaffir Kobe Bryant tweet.
Now you're looking at the biggest Kobe fan in anybody. I was like, what the fuck? I got pissed. But I'm not going to go and be like, cancel him and da-da. Because me and Larry's like, you hate that joke. I said, fuck that shit, bro. Like, I got mad. Okay. You know why? Because it was too close.
Yeah.
So there's jokes that I wouldn't tell. Like, I got a joke that I know 80% of the people. I know there's a joke that I tell you would never tell. The pinata joke. Would you ever tell that joke?
What? No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's not.
Whoa. Hold up.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you tell that joke?
I would never tell that joke because I quite frankly, I'm not black. I can't tell a lynching joke.
Okay.
Like, and even if, because it's too far.
Thank you.
And even
everybody has a limit.
And even if I could find a way, let's say just somewhere out there in the comedy ether, there is a lynching joke that I could find and be like, that's mine.
Yeah.
I do not have enough skill to even look that joke in its eye, let alone bring it in and be like, all right, let's write you out.
Rob said, if you do it, better be funny.
It better be fucking funny.
Because if it's funny and hilarious, guess what? They'll accept it.
There's black women who hate that fucking. I got attacked by the last time I was at 377.
Amory told me about that. Not this last time,
but the time before.
Yeah, Amory told me about that.
Remember when I said, man, the last time I was here, and they was like, what's the joke? That lady was like, I saw Richard Pryor, and you didn't know Pryor. And I was like, bitch, I wouldn't be here if I was Richard Pryor.
You know what's hilarious? You know what's hilarious? If the people that bring that up to try to virtue signal, specifically about Pryor, my favorite response to that, and I've done it, my favorite response is, okay, so we're going to bring up his Spotify discography, and you're going to name every single album he's ever done? Go.
Let me hear it. I'm all ears.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those
nigger, hard R.
yeah. For those of you who don't know, Richard Pryor, like 3 of his albums have the hard R.
Yeah. So that's why I say I know there's jokes that I would not tell because I'm too close to it.
Right.
Right. Like, there's a lot of personal shit that I tell about myself that people be like, why do you joke about that? Because I've detached myself from it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know my dad. That is so sad. No, that's funny as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom, I was born September the 5th. My mom hit me, a month ago and told me happy birthday.
Oh, shit.
And she does it every fucking year.
Jesus. Do you correct her?
No, for what? I came out of her pussy. Why do I have to correct her? That was a significant day in your life. What are you talking about, bro? Hey, just a reminder.
You slipped out.
I don't know if she's early or I don't know if she's late. I don't know. That's the thing.
It's like 8 months early and 9 months
Are
late.
you getting a jump on everybody or is this some leftover shit? And you think I'm lying. Sixx, am I lying?
No, I know you're telling the truth.
I send the screenshot. I was like, bro, look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro. So a lot of people be like, I couldn't joke about that. You know why I can? Because I'm detached.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's detached. And the people who left are not detached. And that's why I couldn't tell a George Floyd joke because I'm not detached from that situation. That's how I feel. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, so we've got the Ari Shaffir joke that got him into a lot of trouble.
Oh, I hate it. And look at the date, bro. This is like the day after.
Yeah, this is within 24 hours.
Yes, bro.
So Ari Shaffir tweets, Kobe Bryant died 23 years too late today. He got away with rape because all the Hollywood liberals who attack comedy enjoy rooting for the Lakers more than they dislike rape. Big ups to the hero who forgot to gas up his chopper. I hate the Lakers. What a great day. # fuck the Lakers.
So today I can snickle at that.
Jesus.
I'm a huge Laker fan, bro, and I'm a Kobe. We were the same age that grew up. Like, so when
You're
that
close
hit,
to that, yeah,
bro, I cried when Kobe died. So when I see that, man, fuck that dude, bro.
Well,
like,
you know what's crazy about Kobe's death? Okay, so I've never been the biggest basketball guy. I just haven't been. But my aunt, my grandparents growing up in Southern California, my aunt spending a lot of time in LA. I grew up a Lakers fan just because that's what I was like attached to, right? But I never got into basketball very much. But I could appreciate how much of a hard worker and what type of athlete and how much of an anomaly Kobe Bryant was, right?
Yeah.
So I am in Djibouti on my deployment.
Been there.
And little shithole.
Fuck that place.
We're on a break and we're on our days off and in my little, they had these shipping containers that they changed into rooms and that's where I was living in. And I remember I think it was called KBR. Yeah, the company acronyms were KBR, and they hired a lot of local Djiboutians to work for them and all that type of shit. And so they would come by and get our trash and all that. And I'm in my little fucking room. I'm doing something on my computer, and I get a text from my aunt about Kobe dying. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, and she was like, and she was in LA when it happened.
Oh, golly.
Yeah, and she was like, the whole city has stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, like that's...
It was a Sunday. I'll never forget.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, that's heavy. Oh, my God, like, Kobe Bryant's dead. Mm-hmm. Maybe 2 hours later, right, I hear a knock on my door, and I open the door, and it's the KBR guys coming through, and they're picking up our trash and shit, and I'm not going to try to do a fucking African accent because I'm just going to fuck it up. But
don't do it.
Yeah, no. But
mine's all right.
But... But I give him a couple of our trash bags and stuff, and he goes, and he tells me, we're sorry about Kobe. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? And what do you, he goes, yeah, Kobe Bryant has died. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh shit. And mind you, like these guys, they don't get paid dick.
No.
Most of these dudes, because I was at one of my jobs there, I got to be at the main entry point, so we had to like inspect all the vehicles that were coming through, checking for cell phones. Most of them, and as you were there, you have to be on a list to have a cell phone and all that type of shit. So they don't have a lot, and they're very poor. Mm-hmm. They don't have access to the outside world.
So for them to know,
so they knew that Kobe died. Yeah. Now they might have been told by another service member, like, "Hey, do you know who Kobe Bryant is?" But it was just the initial oh shit, they knew that Kobe Bryant died. I was like, oh, like this is a.
What I want to know from Sixx, like, who's that athlete that if they passed away right now, you would be like, oh, Lord, take me instead? Who would it be,
That's
bro?
still playing?
Yeah. Or even back, just that one person.
Like Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis. So say Jerome Bettis passed.
Yeah.
And then a comedian just
like, oh,
cracks a joke like,
yeah.
how would you laugh?
No, I wouldn't laugh then, but now probably would
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah.
But yet, we've done some pretty raunchy shit when
Yeah.
some people died.
Oh yeah.
And we hit some.
Because it wasn't close. It was like,
It was a lot like
who the fuck died?
No,
But
someone died on the podcast, and we came out with some shit, and people were
people
like,
were pissed.
But it's
off.
important to acknowledge that. Where it's like, yeah,
or we made fun of Jesus or religion.
bro,
that was one of the worst episodes.
our Black
People-
Jesus episode.
Oh yeah, they were pissed.
Boy, talk about some
But
pissed off.
so
people.
Are people- okay,
it can be,
'cause you-
it depends on what you hold near
I was
and
gonna
dear
say
to you.
Well, not even that, because
And
like,
it's not a lot of shit that I do.
Because we've had fucking long. You know that I'm Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I can still laugh at my own religion.
Oh, I
A lot of
really-
people can't.
Are
Anytime we
people
bring up
are people not acknowledging that Jesus wasn't white?
Hell yeah, where you been, bro? What the fuck?
Are we still there?
It's a lot of people who ain't been over there. Okay, they don't know that.
and anytime we bring up religion, it raises up hairs. People really get hurt.
I love, and I'm just dabbling my toes in it now. I love writing jokes about my religion just because, like,
Bro, you're edgy as fuck. You haven't seen him.
no, he reviewed the tape from that night
This
with me.
motherfucker comes in with Jew jokes and
Oh, to see,
bro, and I was
see-
like, holy shit, okay.
but a lot of people that do that, it catches because like if you're not familiar with the religion, to us it's funny.
Yeah.
Only people that
Who-
find it offensive are
The ones who are close, who
or live there.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And that's why
Those are the two jokes
And
you
that's why
get.
half the time we talk religion, the people that are talking shit to us are the fucking they go once a year for fucking Palm Sunday or fucking Christmas.
It's the CEOs. It's Christian Christmas and Easter only.
They got the lint shit on their head.
Or it's the same bitch that goes fucking. It's the same bitch that
fucking Sixx.
it's the same bitch that takes a picture. I'm going to church to praise the Lord and has a low cut shirt on and tight ass pants. I'm like, you're going to church like that?
She still has the stamp from the club right here.
Yeah.
Who goes to church like you're dressed for the club? Like you know what I mean?
She's in
Like,
the same dress, bro.
oh, speaking, you know some funny shit, bro. And I was gonna post them. Post it tomorrow.
What's up?
So we talk about going to church on special occasions. I went Saturday because it was.
You went to church?
Yeah, because
What the fuck?
Well, no, it was my mom set up a special mass for Brandon. Every
Oh,
year.
okay.
So we went, and so I'm looking at the bulletin, the back of a church thing, and they have all the advertising,
Yeah.
bro. And I look, and they had one of the biggest advertising part that they had, CatholicMingle.com.
No.
And I'm like, they're promoting.
Come on.
They're
bro.
promoting dating.
No, they
on this?
promoting fucking,
No,
bro. They
they're
fucking on
promoting-
What is it called again?
Yeah.
What?
It's not Christian mingle. What is
No, Catholic.
Catholic? Oh, that's deep right
my
there. Not
boy.
Christian, but Catholic mingle. You know they meeting up fucking. Let me see.
Oh,
And you took,
CatholicMatch.com.
oh, you took a picture of this shit.
Oh, because I have it where it's gonna.
Catholic Look at this, bro. Look at the dude nuzzled into her face.
And I'm like, the church, you trying to get some pussy while you're in church, bro? Like, this is some crazy shit.
hey, how
So
many
what did
people-
I do? I logged in,
Did
made
you
a
download?
profile.
I was gonna
I
say.
made a profile. And that's what we're going to bring up next Monday. I wanted to talk about it this Monday, but I thought I'd get a good kick. I have it all prepared.
We got to bring up
It's
your
so
profile. We got to create your profile online. That's
Yeah,
what we'll
no,
do.
that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
That's what I
we'll
want to do.
that.
And then,
but make
and
it
then
my
put
picture.
Yeah. With the Italiano last name. But that's the kind of shit we're talking about.
I forgot what I was saying. Holy shit.
Like,
Oh my god. Oh, I like I like writing jokes about it because like I don't want to because it is my religion. I don't want to be blasphemous.
Right.
But I think a genuine part of the human experience is being self-aware and being able to acknowledge some of the absurdities in your day-to-day life.
I think comedy to me, a lot of people be like, I'm not funny enough to be a comic. Who gives a fuck? Be confident enough.
Exactly.
When you're
yeah.
confident, you could say anything and make it funny. And I think people like David Lucas, even us, I think you have to have that confidence, especially when you're going to go to a place that's edgy. Even when, like, I got a bunch of those. I got a bunch of race jokes. Fucking the pinata, the hurricane one that I'm still forming. That one.
It's been fun watching you make that as it evolves and
the
morphs.
Look on people's faces, and they laugh when the race isn't them. It went from when the race isn't you, it's laughing. Then when it is you, you're like, and now it's gone from.
You look around to be like, should I laugh at my?
It's flipped. Now when the race is you, you laugh. But when it's not you, you groan because you don't want to seem insensitive. And that's the fucked up part.
Well, you know how I know?
And all the shit's funny.
Like, how I know that joke works is when you get to the point, because you started out talking about the first, like, black hurricane. Mm-hmm. Because it starts like, oh, that's funny. Okay, it's a little ridiculous, a little bit more. Now you're talking about kneeling on a hurricane.
Yes.
The concept is so stupid.
It's
but again,
dumb.
we were talking about this before. Yeah. It's the way you present it, the way you perform it. It's like, yeah.
That's his Floyd.
That is ridiculous.
That's my George Floyd joke.
Yeah.
But it's not him. It's a hurricane.
Right, yeah.
And people be... By the time I get to that part...
So think about it.
You've been there. By the time I get to that part, they be like, oh,
So think about what he said.
Yeah.
He's been saying the same thing, but lean on the net. No, they're shooting at it. First time in history, you guys see them shoot at a hurricane.
So let's talk about the let's talk about the anatomy of that joke, right? You don't lead with it. You build audience trust beforehand.
You build it up,
and then
you build up with the funniest stereotype.
And then when you start with the joke, you include the audience, and you tell an audience member, "Tell me the blackest male."
Because that's funny right there.
And it makes
that's
them
uncomfortable.
Exactly. And this is the funny part because they know. The funny part is. They know one, but they're afraid to say it. They're thinking, man, I know the blackest name, but they're looking around because, but then on the flip side of it,
they don't want to say it too fast because they be like.
But on the flip side, there's some that say it fast.
They say it so.
One dude, the whole Reggie one, right away he's like.
That was the very first time I did that.
Before he could even get it, I was like, think of the blackest name. He was like, Reggie.
That's the first time I ever told that joke.
And then jumped on it. So like it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So it's a way to do it. You just got to navigate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And know how to take the crowd on that ride with you. Now a lot of people gonna fall off because they're gonna be like, at first they're laughing. Then you get to the point of where they're shooting and putting their knees on the hurricane's neck. You hear the groans. Oh. I said, oh, yeah, you don't want to hear about this one no more, huh? And then I was like, Sixx actually gave me this idea because it only started as a black hurricane. And he was like, bro, you need to do a Mexican one.
Because we have like the crazy, like,
and I was like,
so much premise in that, bro.
I said, fuck yeah. And then I started that one. Just you start with the outrageous. Well, you start with the stereotype that's true. It's the low hanging fruit, and it's funny as hell because they're thinking of it as a hurricane. And then you get to the border. Then you get to that shit, and they be like, "Oh man, this ain't funny no more."
So was it not? Or like when you were creating the joke in general, right? Again, anatomy of the joke.
Yeah.
Was it not already obvious to you in the beginning that okay, he was about black people, he was about Mexicans, he was about Really?
No, because I am big on getting the crowd to laugh with and at me. So you got to understand, there's not a lot of black people that come to comedy shows, right? And so that joke is not just to laugh at black people, but to educate on what happens to black people. It was an educational joke. So it starts out as the stereotypes, what everybody knows, and it's funny. But then by the time I get to the end, they're like, oh, fuck. I'm like, yeah, they fucking that hurricane up, huh? And people be like, damn, like, that's what they do. And so I had told that maybe 3 times, and then Sixx was like, bro, when you put the Mexican part on it, I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
When you say it's raining tajin, like
yeah.
The best is like, never in geographic history I've seen a hurricane tow another one.
Yeah.
Bro, like that right there is
and
the
see,
best.
that's the one that they laugh, But then you say, oh my God, I've never seen a hurricane where the roofs are better conditioned now than before. And then they're laughing, oh yeah, we do roofs. And I was like, oh man, they are building a wall to keep the, and then that's when people be like,
oh damn, they are building a wall to keep us out. After we fix your roofs and gave you tahine. The most delicious rim treat on alcohol you could get.
I was saying,
we're taking that shit back.
This is the best tasting hurricane since the black one.
Because it's raining hitters.
But see, and you can go see that right there. I can go in front of any race and change that. I can take those stereotypes and go into funny shit or serious shit that happened to their race.
I was going to say, so are you writing now for like white people?
Oh yeah, I ain't got to write for white people. I already got y'all shit.
You get my point though, right? You're like you're changing it.
Yeah, I could change it, and that is something that can be interchangeable with whoever crowd I'm in front of. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Such a good fucking joke.
Yeah. So you can be edgy, but you got to be prepared on how you deliver it and how it's going to be received. And at the end of the day, stand on your fucking joke. Don't apologize.
And so here's I think a part of the promoter producer side of things we haven't touched on yet. You're putting a comedy show together, right? And you are looking for comedians that you know, like, obviously they'll be funny and sell the room or whatever, but like, has there ever been a point when you're booking out comics where it's like, or at least not even maybe with comics, like physical people that you know, but you just have in the back of your head, like, I don't want to get somebody that's going to like offend too many people or like it's going to piss people off. And like, is that anything in that ballpark? Is that ever a part of your decision making?
The only thing is make sure I don't book someone that's going to cause a riot and mess up the bar or the venue I'm at, or have some kind of ruckus, or have a fight, or know that someone doesn't like this comic or this entertainer, this rapper, whatever it might be, and there's gonna be a fight broken up. My only thing is to make sure everybody's safe. But as of offended, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll offend people left and right daily. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter. Like, if it sells tickets and people are there, if it's comedy, they know you're coming in to get some raw shit. You don't know what's going to happen.
Are you like reviewing tapes of people that want to be on your show that you want to book?
No.
Like,
I go out and I see.
He really leaves it to me.
And like, or I'll go and I'll see him. And to me, I'm like, that's not what I'm, because I have a vision. I know. So like, before I have a show, I have a vision. And I send it to Rob. I'm like, bro, this is what I'm thinking. He's like, oh, fuck, bro. Like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very creative. I like to do shit where it's like, there's a million promoters, a million different comic shows, a million different fucking whatever goes on. Like, what's going to make me stand out? Yeah. Why is my comic show going to be different? Why are they going to come to me? Is it going to be the entertainment? Is it going to be the venue? Is it going to be what we do, how we produce it, the stage, whatever we might do? So my job is to do outlandish shit. And you see by the Gong Show. I told him, I'm like, bro, before the Gong Show, I'm like, bro, I want to do this Gong Show. And a lot of people don't even know what the Gong Show is.
Well, what's crazy about the Gong Show
they
is
don't even know. Like,
it's like a universal... It's like a universal like format, but it's unique to that. It's like, you suck, get out of here. But it's like the format and like the judges, and it's
the crowd,
it's so much fun.
Yes. And we started out, that was a comedy show.
Yeah,
that was a straight comedy Gong Show.
And
so why the switch? I gotta ask though, because you bring it up. Why the switch to like half music, half comedy?
No, actually, it's not half anything. Now it's just entertainment.
It's because
you can do anything.
Because
you can
we
play
were
the
left
fucking spoons.
Yeah. So we left. First of all, we left. I ain't gonna lie. It was hard to get all comics to fill up because they were scared.
After the first
they were
two they wasn't.
They weren't brave enough. Like, bro, sharpen up your skills.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of other people. Hey, bro, you should do it for art. You should do it for everything. Okay, let's open it up. And now it's a balance of artists. Yeah. I mean, if you juggle with fire, you can do like, it's a talent show. It's really like a talent show, and you could get gong for anything. It doesn't have to just be for comics,
or you can bring 100 people and you still get gong.
Yeah.
Your people don't care. They don't matter.
Yeah. So it's not the crowd that judges. It's those 3 judges, and we've had great luck with judges. We've one of the third one I think we did at that little event center, that little downtown.
Oh yeah, downtown. Yeah.
We had a comic get so mad he walked by judges and slapped the cup in front of them.
Oh, what's his name?
Christian, little slow dude. A little slow.
Christian, what is his name?
Christian, a little slow.
What is his name? Christian.
I think he got a little.
Yeah, he on the
syndrome in his
spectrum.
blood.
He in the corner of the spectrum, bro.
He's on a teeter-totter.
He got a. he's on the cul-de-sac of the spectrum, bro.
Bro, like, but the thing
he
is,
definitely lives there, bro.
it definitely was.
What was his name? Christian
something.
Fuck, what is his name?
Because I know there was that incident at fucking Bourbon and Booze you told me about.
Oh, with Phil Romero.
Yeah.
I don't play that shit.
Yeah,
you don't attack a crowd, bro.
Yeah, that was fucking
those
stupid.
people came to be entertained. If you're not making them laugh, you don't get mad at them. Get mad at yourself.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
But yeah, so I mean, people get hurt. But what do you expect? It's the Gong Show. Like we tell everybody this is what it is.
But that's a part of the professionalism.
Yeah.
But he ain't the only one that got mad.
Well, and then you're opening yourself up to that. It's like I told you. Like when I went on 10 drink minimum, and I had a great time on 10 drink. I really did. I really had a fun time.
Hey, where's my invite?
And
where's the camera at? Where we at? Where I'm looking. Hey, where's my invite?
That would be an amazing episode.
Let me come on there.
I would love to see you on 10 drink. I had a good time, man.
I've only been on 3 podcasts. Yours, Potential Problems, and the one Zach used to do. Well, no, it wasn't Zach. It was Angel. On Hell.
Yeah. Okay.
The other ones, y'all don't invite me.
That's still fucking surprising. But anyway, it came up. Well, what the fuck we're talking about? Oh yeah. So you open yourself up to that criticism, right? Yeah. And that was the point that I was trying to make. If you watch that episode in the beginning of it, we're talking a little bit about. I was watching it about comedy. I was trying to make that point about. Look, if I'm a little bit earlier, like. If you're giving people criticism, like, don't go out of your way to be fucking mean or anything. But if
tell the truth.
Let's say if I do a set, right? Let's say it was that set at 377, right? I say I do my opening set and the show is over, and I walked up to you and I was like, "How did I do?"
Yeah, see, that's where you fuck up.
I am now.
If you ask me, oh, buddy, I'm gonna tell the truth.
But to me, that's not fucking up.
No, but I'm just saying, most people feel like. They're asking as a courtesy. No, you're asking, and I'm going to tell you.
Right, you're opening up that channel to real criticism.
If you don't want to know, don't ask.
Because if you're asking someone's opinion, I would imagine, right? If you're asking someone's opinion, that means that you hold their opinion to a certain standard. That you care about their opinion enough to go out of your own way.
That's true.
You could have gone to the bathroom. You could have gone with a drink. You could have gone food, whatever. But you decided to go ask their opinion about what you just did. That means that you have to hold their opinion to some kind of regard, which means that their response has to mean something to you. I never understood that. Going into like, please tell me I did so good. I did so great. Yeah. No, bitch. Like, do you want to get better at this? Whether it's fucking comedy, music.
Six, how long you been here? You just rubbing off on Noah like that, bro. I don't think I've ever heard him drop a bitch.
Be the only bitch.
Like, look at this.
Only bitches. Podcast. Only bitches.
But you get my point.
This bitch, you suck, bitch.
I'm gonna watch the next episode. Look, bitch. I'm like, whoa, what is happening?
It feels so good. It rolls off the tongue, huh?
But you get my point.
He was like, these bitches.
Like if you're opening yourself up to that channel of conversation where criticism may flow through freely, take it and fucking get better and move the fuck on. You shouldn't. We should not be. We already talked about this, so I don't want to harbor on it more. But Jesus Christ, if you're doing this, get better at it.
Well, and we're also peers in this. If you can't tell your peers that and they can't receive it, they really shouldn't be doing it.
It's a level of respect, right?
Because if it's like we said, you're a representative of us. Like Sixx said, there's promoters. If they're doing bad business, they're representing him, even though he has nothing to do with the show
in the city.
Yeah,
right.
And that's the same thing with comedy.
Exactly. And to go back to I guess the original question that started all of this, like, is there? You already said that you don't want to have anybody that's going to be so fucking audacious, it's going to start a fucking issue at the venue, right? But like when you're reviewing like potential, let's just call them candidates, right, or potential people, entertainers that you could get on the show, like, is there like? I don't know. Like, do you just have concerns? I guess I don't know how to make that more broad.
I really don't have concerns. Like, so I gauge it to what type of show I'm doing, and then I go after the comedians or artists or performers that cater to what we're trying to do. Whether we're doing a theme night of something, or we're doing jokes and jams, a R&B one, a funk one, a country one, a Latin explosion one. So we go after people that fit what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As far as that, then the second thing is, honestly, like, are they funny? Are they gonna? Are the people gonna sit there for an hour and be entertained, or they're gonna walk up or leave or go drink or start talking because that right there, they'll never want to come back to one of our events and pay the $20, the $25, $30 that we charge. Like our event coming up, it's $35, straight across.
That is, and I don't know when this airs. I don't know if it'll be done by now or.
No, this is out now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's live.
Oh, my bad. So
yeah.
what he's talking about is the Queens of the Southwest, which is this Friday.
Okay.
March the 1st. And so that's with Tara Shakespeare. She's from Phoenix. That is from that's with Shanae Ross. She's from Denver. And that's from Sharita. She's from El Paso. And there's 2 other
And where's that at?
ladies. That's going to be, it's called Bama's 1865. It's the old Salt Yard East.
On Osuna off of San Mateo.
Did Salt Yard East close down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
About
Okay,
a
I'm
year
out of the
ago.
loop.
So
year and a
it's
half
like
ago.
it's a Creole restaurant now.
No.
Yeah, and it's
I could have sworn I
very-
drove by it like 2 months ago and it still said Salt Yard.
Yeah, the sign's still there.
Yeah, but it's.
Oh,
yeah,
but it's no shit.
They haven't taken the big sign off, but yeah.
Okay, I just know there are a lot of issues there when Salt Yard was still a thing back
Oh,
then.
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
because
Fights,
because even like
Yeah,
because we
because I used to live right there, and it was crazy.
well because we went there, we went out like us and all our friends like maybe like a month before me and Dom deployed, and even then it was still weird, like going out and
It just gets rowdy for like no reason. Or used to.
Yeah, now it's a whole new.
So what's it called now?
It's called Bama's 1865.
Okay.
So they have it's a restaurant. So you remember it's
Yeah.
3. So they have the restaurant. The middle is what would you call that?
Like a lounge.
A lounge.
Lounge area.
And then that third one is like an event center. It has a stage and all that stuff.
And this is not. I'm not trying to like make a knock on them, but are they like doing any advertising that they're a new thing? Like, are they putting shit out outside of big shows like yours?
Not really.
Because I haven't heard of that.
No, because we did an event there on Friday night, and more than 50% people never been there, seen it.
That was the 30
That
30
30
and
and
over.
over.
See, and that's what I'm going to bring up earlier. Thank you for like talking about this because just to speak to the talent of what you bring to your shows and just the amount of experience you have in doing this, like that flyer, and you guys made posts about it too, talking shit. Like if you are not older than 30 years old, you are not. And the fact that you still, and I saw the videos, I saw the pictures, because obviously I'm older than 30, so I didn't
300,
go.
300 some people.
You guys packed that shit out, and that's at a venue that I thought
They was not prepared.
I'll be completely honest. I thought Bama was it.
1865.
I thought that was like a producer. I thought that was his like stage name or
Oh,
some
right.
shit. I'm gonna be completely
Who's
It
performing?
was like, man, he's coming with 21 Savage.
I thought that was like a producer or some shit. So the fact that you guys still had that and you packed it out the way you did, that speaks to everything you just said. But anyway, so this Friday, is the Queens of the Southwest.
Southwest.
Okay, and the times.
Doors open at 6:30. Show starts 7:30.
Okay.
Be about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Set.
If we still got some tickets available, just go to reloadedtalent.com. That's Sixx's website. Go to my website, robertbuckdgibson.com, or just hit us up in the inbox.
I got a podcast that afternoon, but I'm trying to make because I saw the ads for that and it looks fucking
Come
dope.
check it out.
They
man.
are
It'll-
killers.
It
I've worked
looks-
with them.
And because again, like it was funny is I looked at that flyer, I was like, I know none of these people.
Yeah.
But the people that are promoting them and giving them that vouch, I trust
Well,
these
see,
guys.
and that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
And that's why we have the following we do and is built up because they know we're going to bring in quality entertainment. You know what I mean?
And so just a little backstory on that and of what we put our heads together. So, I'm very big on the same comedy, same shit that we get in the city. And I was like, Sixx was like, yo, we should do a comedy show here. What do you think? And I was like, you know what? I have never seen an all black woman comedy show here. And there is a void of black women comics here.
Well, and to speak to what you're saying, you have posted on your page multiple times. I've seen posts about it broadening it out to female podcasting, and you've narrowed it a little bit to black women podcasting,
right?
Because that's just not huge.
And I know there's a market for it.
Yeah,
they're
for sure.
big, and I know it will be great. And and also I do that because I want to know, and then I also am checking the temperature for shit like this.
Yeah.
And so, and no, this isn't a black show, but I wanted to be able to say we did this, and I knew, like you said, you're like, the names aren't known, but trust me, if we're putting our stamp on it, it's gonna be great.
I trust you guys.
Yeah.
And obviously other people do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes the most sense.
Yeah, and one more thing, don't forget, every second and fourth Friday, that is the 30 and up R&B nights,
which are amazing.
They are.
And
we already got our VIP sold for the next one, and that's the 8th of March.
And we have some sold for the 22nd.
We have the others for the 22nd. So.
And where's that at?
At Bama's.
Bama's 1865.
Fucking A.
Yeah. So it's growing. And yes, you got to be 30 because we have people trying to get in.
Nah, you got to be 30.
They try to maneuver.
They try to pay us extra money
in the inbox.
I'm 28.
I'll give you $50 to get in. No,
here's a chick. She's like, so what if I turn 30 at midnight? I said,
we'll see you at midnight,
I'll
bitch.
see you at 12:01.
I saw your post, and I was like, I'm gonna text Buck to fuck with him. I was like, wait, nope, he's probably actually a little upset, so I'm just gonna not.
No,
do that.
these were real shits we were getting.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
We're still getting them. But it's just something we knew it was. There's if you pay attention to what's happening in the city, or keep your ears to the street. Social media is great here. People will tell you what they want and what they'll spend money on.
Yep.
You got to listen. Yeah.
No, I agree completely, and because you walk, I'm not. I mean, you guys know this. I'm not a big club guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big nightlife, that type of shit. I'll go to Anodyne. Mm-hmm. I love shooting pool.
Yeah.
If my homies are playing it like Sister, or I love Launchpad's one of my favorite venue here because I love death metal so much. But if my buddies are playing at Marble or playing at Sister or Launchpad, I'll go watch them play. But I'm not a big nightlife guy.
Right.
But even when I do go out to these venues that I go to, it's not a lot of older people on a Friday and Saturday night. It's that
they don't want to go down there
because they don't want to deal 30 and I'm saying 30 is old, but I'm just saying people in their 30s don't want to deal.
You feel old when you're next to a 25-year-old.
I was going to say,
a
30-year-old who's just trying to have a good time with their friends don't want to deal with a drunk 22-year-old Tiffany.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they don't want to deal with this. So when I saw you guys were doing the 30 and above, I'm not a partier, but I saw that flyer. I was like, I would love to see that.
And you saw the good time.
I'm sure it's a fun time.
You saw that.
It was a fun time.
Karaoke all night long.
And you know what?
People just singing.
And you know what it didn't look like? It didn't look problematic.
Oh no, hell no.
It didn't look like people were trying to shoot each other, fight each other. No, let's be fucking real.
That's true.
No, let's be real. It's people
or drunk
fucking,
and you're like, oh fuck, I got to deal with this motherfucker.
Hey, get away from my fucking bitch,
it was not even close to being an incident. It was even a thought.
It was a good time, man.
Yeah,
it was.
It's you, and this what that is.
And we didn't know majority of those people.
Damn,
that's the crazy part.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that just speaks to you guys' ability to knowing the market and knowing what the city wants. Because again, you guys it's like you put your feelers out, you keep your ear down, and you hey,
we talk all the time.
There's a void.
We bounce shit off of each other.
Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a void for this. Let's make it and see what happens. And now you've got shit sold out for the next month.
Yeah.
And we feel that void, and no one could come in after us because we already done it.
Yeah.
And everybody, because it's so funny now that we do it. And we had done the 30 and overnight when I had my club downtown before the Rona. We had started it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it took it took hard to build it up down there because they didn't want to go downtown, but we did. And now after we do it, people are like, "Oh man, we were going to do that," or "Let's team up, let's team up and do some." And shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Nah, we good,
bro. You know what I mean? Ain't no one talking about it, but all of a sudden, they were about it. Yeah. And watch, you'll see one pop up at another club or someone trying to do it.
It's
okay,
coming.
You could try to duplicate, but guess what? It's not us.
It's not your brand.
It's not, and people trust the brand. That's what it is. People trust the brand, and that's why they come out.
I love it. I'm on the mic. I'm doing all type of shit, bro. Yeah.
Listen, this has been I meant to when I said before the break. I love doing this podcast. I love shooting shit.
This might be the longest one you've had, huh?
This has been a lot of fun. Actually, let's see what time it is.
Yeah.
Almost. I think we went 4.5 with Springer that one night back in because we started doing this podcast at my old condo in the garage.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy Springer got trashed for about 5 hours.
Damn.
And that was a fucking trip. I don't know if I want to do that again. Maybe. But that's something you got to do during the day. We started at I don't know when we could do the math, I guess, but we had to carry him out to the truck at 2 a.m.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, listen, thank you guys. Seriously, I know you guys are both incredibly busy.
So I genuinely appreciate the
I
time.
appreciate you having us.
Hell
bro.
yeah.
It was nice to come, and it's nice to be on this side.
Yeah. And like I said, this is the
Seriously,
first time me and Sixx have done a podcast together and it's not our shit. So.
Which is an honor. I got to be
Yeah.
honest. Like this is
Yeah,
this
we
is
usually,
fucking
we usually
awesome.
charge for that.
This really has been like an extra education. This is awesome.
Oh, that's dope.
And I'd love to have you guys back. I love to have you guys back with Larry.
Yeah, Larry, just don't put
Yeah.
Larry on the camera.
Yeah,
Put him behind the
Right
camera
back
with a
there.
mic.
Yeah, I'd love to. So we've already talked about Queens and Southwest this Friday. Anything else you just want to plug, promote, anything like that?
Friday we're dropping another banger.
Yeah, Friday is
Another Jokes and Jams.
Another Jokes and Jams will be revealed this
On
Friday.
which is going to be
Fuck
pretty
yeah.
damn good.
Yeah.
And then we're dropping a banger in Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo, yes.
A huge
big one.
Coliseum show out there. We're just
Yeah.
been working on a huge one at UT, West Texas A&M Stadium.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we expand, bro. We go like that's where I was Monday, Tuesday. I was.
I'm not
in
okay.
Amarillo.
My response is not one out of shock. It's out of like holy shit.
Yeah.
Like hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hold
Excitement.
Hold 7,000 people. We'll have it sold out.
It's
That
going once this drops, that whole area will be there.
People from here will drive out there.
Yeah, they'll go.
That's this kind of show is going to be.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So
Comedy wise, so we have the Queens of the Southwest, which is Friday, and then that next day, I'm actually at Sunray Casino with Zach and Josh Fournier. Shout out to Sunray Casino because I've worked there before with Jill Carlson. She actually had me out there when I was doing my Colorado run, but the casino loved it so much they wanted to do it themselves. So they reached out and getting that casino money. That's different than a booker. That casino money, ooh, that's some good shit. So yeah, we're all three of us. We're down there. This going to be this Saturday. After that, shit, I'm not doing anything until Phoenix. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, those 3 days, 4th, 5th, and 6th of April.
Hell yeah.
Stir Crazy and Stand Up Live.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yep.
we'll be in Milwaukee.
Oh, we'll be in Milwaukee. Actually,
I gotta-
damn, that whole week.
Yeah, we'll be in Milwaukee.
We'll be in Milwaukee 3 days, and then fly from Milwaukee. We'll be in Phoenix.
Damn.
Yep, I forgot about that.
We're doing the whole Scarface Tiny Desk Experience concert show out there. So.
Yep. And while we're out there, we're gonna go comedy club
Comedy
hunting.
club hunting. That's what
Fuck
we do.
yeah.
That's what we do. Every time we go out of town, we
That's when he casts some open mics and
Yep.
gets his name known out
Fuck
there,
yeah.
so.
yeah.
Well, listen, you guys. Seriously, I love learning from you guys. I love watching what you guys are doing, and it's a fucking inspiration. Seriously, so keep it
Appreciate
up.
you, bro.
No, you keep it up, bro. Look at you,
definitely,
man. This
You're
is
doing it.
this ain't the little spot where I came when I wrote my name up there. I see you. Like I told you, you was on Good Morning America, bro. You was on
You're moving on up.
New Mexico Tortilla Mornings, whatever the fuck that was. I was like, and then he shouted your boy out. I was like, oh shit, okay. I
We
fucks
saw
with
that.
you,
Yeah,
bro.
we did.
Yeah,
That's
real
no,
shit.
you're really doing this shit, man. Like you're doing it professional. We're unprofessional, but you're
But
doing
it
it the
works.
right way, bro.
Whatever it is.
And don't stop. Like keep the passion, keep keep up with the technology, all that good shit, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And keep up the comedy, bro. I'm still tripping you started that shit. You know me, when somebody says, I want to do comedy, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, because I love to just throw people out there. That's the only way you can do this shit.
Yeah.
Keep writing, man. Keep performing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Seriously. And thank you, everyone, for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Damn, that was good.
Fuck yeah.